This episode of the Primal Scream podcast is brought to you by It Works independent distributor Kathy Sculla. Have you tried that crazy wrap thing? It tightens, tones, and firms any area from the neck down. It Works also provides a wide variety of premium supplements, along with a full skincare line. I personally use their multivitamins and greens, and if you're interested in learning more about It Works products or the business opportunity, call or text Kathy at 319-360-2009 or go to her website, kathysculla.myitworks.com. That's CATHYSKALA.myitworks.com.
All right, we want to thank our sponsor, Sauce Hockey. I love Sauce Hockey because they have super unique clothing. It's all kind of hockey based, but it's not part of any hockey program, so to speak. It's got like cool sayings on their shirts, and again, the most comfortable shirts ever. They have fantastic hats. They have fedoras. They have baseball caps. They have all kinds of stuff. Just a wonderful, wonderful company. We wish them the best because we'd like them to be picked up by the NHL someday. But until then, there's that wonderful little company that everybody loves to get the best frickin' t-shirts in the world from. I just love how comfy they are. Do you like their t-shirts as well?
I love all their stuff.
Good. All right. So Sauce Hockey, please pick them up. We want to thank our next sponsor, Eco Lips. They're one of our absolute favorites. Steve Shriver, Entrepreneur of the Year for Iowa. It's his company. They are organic. They're vegan, if you would like. They have some wonderful, wonderful flavors. They can make just about anything you want because they have this incredible thing called create your own Eco Lips called My Eco Lips. So they can put different flavors, different containers, different coats on the outside so you can see what they look like and have your name and be flashy. But they just do wonderful, wonderful stuff. And I personally appreciate the Mongo Lip, which has mint and peppermint, kind of a minty hemp oil kind of thing. I just think it's freaking fantastic. Do you like? What's your favorite?
You said Mango Kiss.
Mango Kiss.
I like the Mango Kiss. I also like the One World.
Oh yeah,
the One World mint.
That eco container.
Yeah, I really enjoy that.
Me too. So please go to ecolips.com and you can check out all their stuff. Steve Shriver's wonderful little daughter has a great video on there as well. So check out ecolips.com.
Another sponsor that we have is Sweet Raw Joy. Go to sweetrawjoy.com. Check it out. Their website is Desserts to Live For.
They're so freaking yummy.
I love Sweet Raw Joy because when you are trying to watch what you eat, trying to eat healthy, but you need something sweet. All of us have those midnight cravings that are super sweet, and we want to get rid of that.
This also goes one step further. You know why?
Why?
Because you don't even have to worry about those things. You want something sweet. You're thinking about maybe having some, regular convection sugar kind of thing. This stuff is easily a dessert that you should eat anytime you want to when you want something sweet. Not just because it's raw, because it tastes fantastic.
And it's super filling. So things that you would normally just sit and eat the whole bag of, you simply can't do that with Sweet Raw Joy. You have a couple pieces of their fudge, boom, you're done. You're full.
Love it.
So go to sweetrawjoy.com and check out your own desserts today. One of our sponsors who helps us out quite a bit is Penguins Comedy Club. Go to penguinscomedyclub.com and you will see all of their comedians for that week that are going to be performing. So if you don't know what you're going to be doing in the Cedar Rapids area, go to penguinscomedyclub.com and check them out. Also, if you want to schedule an entertainer or you need an entertainer for your company or business or get together, go to usaentertainmentagency.com. Our great friend Jeff Johnson runs that, and
he hooks us up with great comedians all the time. We haven't had one yet that hasn't been a blast to talk to.
So you need somebody for entertainment, you need somebody for weddings, festivals, fairs, corporate, media, whatever.
Oh, I want Doug Thompson at a Renaissance festival. That would be great.
How wonderful would that be? Anyway, go to usaentertainmentagency.com to check out more information and get a hold of Jeff Johnson.
Thanks, Jeff.
Wake up. It's time for Primal Scream.
God, you're so good at things.
God, you can't walk out the door.
It's something that I'm blessed with.
Hey, and welcome back to the Primal Scream. I'm Matt.
I am Todd.
And we have Nick Snavely with us again tonight.
Back again.
Because we're going to talk a little bit about the Brrr Fest.
It was awesome.
So how did overall, how did you kind of feel Brrr Fest went for you?
It was a lot of people. 2,200 people ended up coming. We had a really good showing from the breweries. We had 51 breweries. And as you guys will probably show later, very friendly, always willing to talk and answer questions. And yeah, they brought a lot of good beer.
Yeah,
Yes.
the brewers in general were just awesome.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool that you guys had distributors there too, so you could try other beers. You know,
Right,
like
yeah.
Two Bells is always good to try, and Red Hand. You know, we liked that in the past. So I mean, and even New Belgium was kind of nice to have other beers that are. I mean, New Belgium used to be a microbrewery way back in the day when it first started, didn't it?
Sure.
Yeah,
Well,
so I mean, it's good to
think
kind
it
of.
probably still qualifies
Does it really?
as a microbrewery.
Really?
Oh,
Fat Tire is so popular. It just makes me surprised.
Right. Well, I mean, so is Samuel Adams, but
Oh.
I think they're still qualifying as they're like the biggest microbrewery. But
Right. Well, there's a new show on History Channel called The Sons of. It's not the Sons of Anarchy. It's the Sons of something.
would
or
hope
other.
not.
And
That has nothing to do
and
with
it's
what we're
all
talking
about Paul Revere, Samuel Adams, the Tea Party dumping. It's like the original, but it's late at night, so they swear. There's some risque parts, so it's a little bit more realistic. But Samuel Adams is a big part of the resistance, and they think he's just this pub owner, but he's really kind of controls the mob. It's really cool. But it made me think of the beer. I was like, hey, I like Samuel Adams. But then they had, of course, Samuel Adams, the brewery, is like the number one sponsor. They had these crazy long commercials during it. So
So they make him out to be like this really cool Paul Revere type guy.
he is. Well, Paul Revere is a cool guy too. We just think
Is
of him.
he?
We just think of him as this person who was like, you know, he's made fun of in history, but he let people know the British were coming, so we could defend ourselves.
excuse me, I can't remember what I was watching. It must have been something mind-numbing at work, but apparently, like Paul Revere got shit whipped before he went on his ride, and like the reason why he got so many people to come out and see what the hell he was talking about, because he's fucking falling down and shit. He was like a loud drunk asshole.
Hooting and hollering. And,
Yeah,
Really?
Mm-hmm.
See,
Yeah.
I never knew that. That's some good history. That makes it relatable.
I mean,
It does.
like, I totally wish that I had like actual like look at this website. This is where it actually comes from, because I hate people that just say
Right.
like interesting shit. And then,
Sons
like,
of Liberty.
can't
Sons of Liberty
back it
was
up
the
at
show
all.
that's on.
Sons of Liberty.
Yeah, which I really like it. But it's like knowing that Benjamin Franklin, I mean, the guy was a whore. He fucked all the time. But he was obviously a very bright guy. He liked women, liked to drink, but he's just like everybody else.
Obviously, he was a
who doesn't
bright
like
guy.
whores? Who doesn't like whores?
The problem is that you're still calling them whores. Why can't you just call them
Ladies of the night?
ladies with healthy sexual appetites?
You're right. You're right.
Professionals.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I actually heard a lady at work the other day. She was very upset about the word whore. She doesn't want to be associated with the word whore. She doesn't like whores. And I was sitting there.
She sounds awesome.
Right. Yeah.
Who doesn't
so-
like whores?
well, yeah. now you get to do
Hey,
voices.
that was
You get
pretty
to do-
good, wasn't it? That was not too bad.
It wasn't too bad.
And
but
I'm not
you
going
get to do
I'm not
fucking
gonna do
voices
voices in front of a professional comedian who does voices.
All right.
That's the difference between you and I.
tonight. Last night we had a comedian who also does voices.
Great
and
voices.
He's a hypnotist, and he's a funny fucking guy.
Yeah.
So he's doing voices, and I can't help but want to be a part of.
And he's just looking at him going, just
you
stop.
You probably need to stop doing that.
And he says that literally once or twice. I think
Yeah.
you probably need to stop doing those voices.
Really? I should stop?
What was that?
I don't know. It was just a crazy voice. I like
for
to do
you.
silly, stupid voices. He's like, yeah, you probably shouldn't. Don't do that anymore.
Yeah, by the end I was like, please stop doing it.
Anyway, back to what I was saying
Anywho.
about this woman who doesn't like whores and not to be associated with whores. So I'm talking to her, going, "Listen, what the idea of a whore is you're putting such a negative spin on it. Why can't women just enjoy having sex? guys enjoy having sex. Guys aren't whores.
Oh,
Everybody should enjoy
I didn't mean like
those things.
I didn't
you know,
I did not mean that he liked to go pick up prostitutes. Or I mean, I didn't like. I'm sorry. I meant that he got prostitutes. I meant that he went and got prostitutes. He doesn't just like sleep around with women. I'm not calling women whores. I'm saying that he got prostitutes.
Between just sleeping around with women and going to get prostitutes.
Well, it's two distinctive things. I can understand her saying women being called whores is a bad thing. If you're not a prostitute and you're being called a whore, that sounds bad. And I'm saying whores in the sense that I think he went to get prostitutes. He got a lot of prostitutes. He didn't just sleep around. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, I understand.
We were talking about Brrr Fest.
Yes, we were.
Wow, it's digressed.
To me, it just is a silly thing that women get so wrapped up in this idea that they're supposed to keep their fucking legs together, and if they don't, they're labeled this word.
Right.
And nobody wants to be labeled that word. It's just like, God damn. Have some fun. Fuck. Just fuck.
Some guys like
have
to
some
be
goddamn
whores.
sex.
Guys
loosen up your labia a little bit and
guys
get,
like to be
get it
whores.
on.
Guys like to be whores.
But women enjoy sex too, and you shouldn't. If you're
there
all
shouldn't be a double standard.
there shouldn't be a double standard. And I'm not saying that just because I want women to have more sex, which they should. But nobody should feel guilty about doing something that makes them feel really good. And if you don't feel really good having sex, then something's fucking wrong with you.
Yeah.
Go see Denise Stapley.
I always like the fact, though, that our founding fathers are just normal guys. I like that fact.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's kind of cool.
And I think like if you really look into like celebrity people or historical people, they're just like normal dudes, like football players or movie stars. Or
well, look at Ashton Kutcher sitting in the stands watching wrestling matches at Iowa. It's just it's what we would do. So what's the diff? Right? Yeah, totally agree. All right, back to Brrr Fest.
Okay. Our very first. Okay, I had to loosen up a little bit.
I want to ask him first more about. So, I mean, would you consider it have a huge success, or was it comparable to last year?
Exponentially getting better every time, or was it about as good as it's going to get?
So,
God,
wow. And wouldn't I look like an asshole if I was like, man, it was...
We have a lot of room for improvement.
Okay, but...
It was all right. We have room for growth. You can always say that.
I will say this. You were correct about the line of people. Just waiting to get in.
Fucking long as hell.
I am really kind of surprised at the love, the fascination with beer. I mean, I enjoy beer.
Yeah.
But for people to wait in line for an hour,
oh yeah,
just to get in there.
Well, look at the necklaces, the pretzel necklaces. Those were awesome.
The pretzel necklaces were great.
People are coming prepared. The people that have been there before absolutely know about that shit. I mean, you guys saw the guys with like cookie necklaces.
I didn't see I saw pretzels, but I didn't see the cookies.
Hey, you know what? Right now is a great spot for you to throw in one of your clips of those people that are standing in line.
So we're here with Steven, Drew, and Kevin Meyer. Yes? All right. And you guys are here at the Brrr Fest 2015. Why Brrr Fest?
Beer is a way of life. It's our way of life, and I'm going to keep pursuing it everywhere I can.
It's all the right beers and all the right places.
I love this. This right here. What's the mentality behind this?
This is so that we don't get lightheaded. You have to eat while you're drinking beer, soak it up. And
so you guys didn't get the Beer Master ticket, correct?
No, we were making these instead of coming and drinking early. We've been here about 4 years, and we know we can only stand about 3 hours of drinking, and we have a kind of a little party beforehand instead of the early fest. Yeah.
So how many people do you guys have in your group here?
It's about 10 or 11 this year.
Is there anybody that you guys are hoping to see, or what particular breweries do you guys enjoy the most?
Couple here locally. I live nearby, so Lion Bridge in Cedar Rapids and the Big Grove in Solon.
Absolutely.
Bent River with their jalapeno beer. Got to have it every year. And Cedar Ridge, they have some great whiskey. Got to try their single malt.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoy Brrr Fest. Have a great time. Thank you.
Well, I mean, there's so many people that we obviously have to stage, excuse me, 2 tables with glassware, just so we can cut down on traffic at the main entrance. I probably set up well over 200 glasses on just the secondary table. I don't know how that's interesting, but there's a lot of people, and it's
No, that's a lot of people that are coming through to get that stuff.
Yeah, we have to have that stuff so it's more streamlined, so people can get into line and get in through the door with glass in hand as quickly as possible, so they can enjoy the experience. Because people really want to get in there. Like they will probably push their moms down so they could get further up in the line or get into the actual event place more quickly.
One of the things I thought was interesting, you had brought up why you can only pour so much beer into a glass. Do you remember having that conversation with me?
Yeah.
Can you tell? I mean, for those that go to these festivals and they're trying all the different beer, they might be looking at the glass going, "So why the fuck? Why are you only pouring just this tiny little?" Can you explain that?
Well, I mean, I think there might be two different reasons behind that. I mean, one is actually at a certain point, the state mandated that we could only pour, I believe it was either 1 or 2 ounces into the glass. State law, if you have, some dude from the state government come in there and check out your festival, which is very likely, seems as there's not a lot of festivals on that day in that month.
Yeah, that's why it's so unique.
Yeah, he could totally
If
put
somebody
the hammer down.
Yeah, if somebody was getting crazy and filling the glass all the way up, or here's a mug.
Right. You guys want to do this next year? Well, you're going to have to pay all these fines. Actually, you might not even be able to do it next year. You might just have to pay a bunch of fines. So there's that. But then also, it's just kind of smart to not give people a full pour, because, like you saw, there are a lot of people, and they're going to want to get right back in line again. So you're going up there drinking like a blueberry stout. That's what, 7, 8, 9% ABV, and you're giving them, like a good 5, maybe 6 ounce pour. Going to be fucking shit hammered.
Well,
yeah.
From what I was told, you got pretty hammered too, right?
From what you were told, After all the interviews, we did enjoy Brrr Fest for an hour or two.
Yeah, it was great.
And then we went to an establishment close to the area, and I had a very large beer there.
But that very large beer and all the little teeny weeny beers put you over the edge?
It was that, and I had a huge meal. It was just like Thanksgiving. I was so full. And I wasn't. I was very intoxicated. But when I was dropped off at my house later, my kids go, "Hey, Dad, there's so much time left in the day. I'd like it to be like a Daddy Miki day."
Yeah.
That's my son's name, Malik. So I go, "Bud, I would love to, but Daddy's drunk. And Daddy cannot drive. So if you want to do something here, awesome. But could we do it in an hour? Because Dad's got to take a little nap."
Right. Yeah, no, I felt the same way. After everything, and I didn't even drink that much. I think I probably did have a nice buzz, but it was probably midway through. But I was doing a lot of hey, you guys need some ice? You guys need water in your spray bottles? So I was running around a lot, although that would, I would put my cup right next to them and I'd say, I'm going to leave this right here. I'm going to go get you guys some stuff. And by the time I come back, if there's some beer in there, that's cool. If not, whatevs.
Do you want some ice?
Right. So I was a little shit whipped myself, and it just tires you out.
Yeah.
I was totally tired. I had a decent breakfast. I drank.
Well, you were walking
coffee
around a lot. You did a lot of thinking. That's stressful. Just trying to keep things on track and keep track of everybody and make sure everybody needs anything. That's a stressful day.
Yeah. I liked the fact that you guys had a live band.
Yeah.
That was just nice. It was nice background.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too loud and crazy.
Exactly. It was just kind of like a perfect
That's what we tried to do.
I
I think whoever suggested that the first year, it was a really, we were all kind of like, really? Do we need a band? I mean, we got people that are drinking. Why can't we just have, like a DJ or something like that?
Right.
Or like put somebody's iPod on or whatever.
But every now and then, looking up at one of the singers and going, I don't think that outfit could be any tighter.
Right.
I mean, it's things like that you get
nice.
that you don't get with a DJ.
It is a rock
Right.
and roll band.
Yes.
Oh,
And I
that's true.
think maybe it's not the same band that we had originally. I think it is the same band, but they're like teachers, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
I'd like to have her as a teacher.
School of Rock.
Yeah.
I just can't believe that I keep hearing these. Again, there was like some woman who was charged with having sex with her 8th grade students.
What?
And I'm just like, I don't.
This is still going on.
This is still happening. It happens almost. It seems like it's almost once every couple weeks. I hear about some. I'm like, 8th graders.
Listen.
Come on, or a freshman in high school. I mean, we've all known guys who, when they were freshmen, had like 5 o'clock shadow, and we're a little bit more mature than the average guy for sure. But doable.
8th grade?
And most of these women are attractive. They're attractive people. It's not like they couldn't get a date. You know what I'm saying?
Don't we have to possibly?
Why do
I'm
we
not
keep
saying
going
100%,
down these
but
tracks?
But don't we have to maybe readjust our social norms if we're just going to keep pumping
so we
hormones?
can fuck 8th graders. Is that what you're saying?
Listen, I didn't. You're making it sound terrible. Okay, you're making it sound really, really bad. But what I'm saying is, when we keep pumping hormones into our kids via milk and dairy and meat products and all that stuff, are you all right? Am I draining the fucking energy out of you?
You're boring me.
I'm talking about
I'm just kidding. Sorry, I didn't mean to yawn in front of you.
So when guys talk about, oh my God, that sophomore or that senior in high school, I can't believe she's in high school. Why didn't have seniors in high school develop like that? You've heard guys say that,
but really,
but
though,
now you
is
have
that
8th
true?
grade boys. I don't know.
I mean, go through your yearbook and see. I mean, if there's
Right.
any
if you-
larger than just your face pictures, come on. There
were
chicks
some
that looked
back in the
adult.
70s
don't-
when you had the guys with the big lamb chops.
Right. I think back.
suppose.
I think back to being a sophomore in high school and being like $1.25, $1.50, and I mean, I was just a spindly little kid. I couldn't. I mean,
Right.
girls my age didn't look at me, let alone a hot teacher going, "Oh, I bet you that little skinny boy
Right.
can pound
Yeah.
the shit out of me." You know what I'm saying? That's why. And I look at these women going, "Lady, come on, you're
maybe,
pretty."
Maybe it's a different way. Maybe it's more like I will take this young pupil and turn him into a man. Maybe it's not.
Maybe
it's the
I'll
roles
make
are
him a man.
reversed.
Oh, I like that. That makes
Yeah.
sense to me. I understand that. That makes sense.
Really?
It does. It's creepy as fuck, but I understand it.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
I mean, they have to be a little off to be doing the.
Hey,
first
you know what's
place,
creepy
so-
as fuck? That's a great segue, by the way. Today, I got to go out to lunch with one of my buddies from work and his wife. And that's not the creepiest fuck part. The creepiest fuck part is the fact that after we had lunch, he goes, "Hey, do you want to hit this candy store on the corner?" I'm like, yeah, I've never.
Oh, was this downtown?
I've never been in there before. Yeah, it was downtown. And he goes, "It's great because they have all these retro candies."
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's some creepy as fuck.
really
it's a
bad.
candy cigarette for everybody who's listening and not
But
watching.
I walked in tonight, and he and all his kids
All
were
my
sitting
kids.
at the table. With
Yeah, we
cigarettes
planned
in
it. I
their
go,
mouth.
as soon as Todd pulls up, everybody sit down at the table, put a cigarette in your mouth. Candy, bubblegum cigarette.
I'm like, you guys, come on.
So he walks through the door like,
insane.
what's going on?
I go, hey, good modeling with the family over there.
And then I said, guys, Daddy used to smoke. My daughter walks up and slaps my face.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, she did.
I remember getting angry at my parents, both of them that smoked, and I would try to hide their cigarettes and stuff.
Really?
But I feel like the school system really does probably even a better job now than we used to do when I was a kid with, cigarettes are so horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I would hide my parents' cigarettes, but I mean, obviously, it's come to violence in your household.
Well, my dad never smoked cigarettes, but my mom smoked for a good chunk of her life. I remember her telling me. I remember not hearing that they were bad, but her talking about them being bad and trying to do a better job of I remember her like going, "Hey, I want to tell you that I started smoking Now cigarettes instead of this other brand because it's got 25% less tar or something like that." And I was just like, "Oh, okay." I just remember her and then I remember her making me smoke a cigarette because I snuck one and didn't inhale, but I lit it and act like I was cool. Yeah. And then she made me do it, and then I coughed and gagged forever, and then that was it.
Yeah.
But then she kept smoking, so that's kind of.
I guess I never really understood that chain of teaching,
making them smoke it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you get a sweet buzz off of it.
You want to be a tough guy. You want to get drunk, and then you get. I remember my father getting really mad at me because he caught me drinking. So then, I was drunk when he caught me already. I was already drunk. It's not like he.
How old were you?
17.
Oh,
17 or 18. And so the very next morning, he's like, "Rise and shine! Woo! We got work to do. Let's go. We got work to do. Very busy day. We got work to do." And I thought, oh.
Man, that's brutal.
Brutal. What? What do we got? We're really busy. We got a lot of get up. You got to get up. It's like, what a dick. But actually, that was you know what? That was actually a good learning tool. So, but I did say to him one time, "Hey, is that what you just put in your mouth?" He goes, "Oh, it's Skull. It's a Skull Bandit. Can I try it?" "Yeah, here you go."
How old were you then?
7.
Oh, would you get fucked up?
I was throwing up immediately.
Oh.
I mean, shit, I was doing that stuff in the Marine Corps. I mean, I was an adult, and I still threw up. I mean, it's rough. That first one, I don't know. I mean, that's all that I needed. I never did one again. I was kind of drunk, too, because I didn't want that shit in my mouth. But, it took me probably 30 seconds for it to hit me.
I didn't get sick
and knock me the fuck down.
Really, my brother was like played football in college, and so he would come back and have just logs of that. They give when he'd go in and watch film, they'd throw him a log.
You know what a log is, right?
Yeah.
They all sit there and chew and watch football film, right? So he came back, and so one night we were working out together, and he goes, "Hey, you want to chew while we work out?" And I was like, "I don't know what that is." "Sure, I'll try it." And so what
a horrible combination. It's kind of like saying, "Oh, hey, we're gonna
get that blood pumping.
Hey, we're gonna go for a ride. You're gonna drive a little bit. Here's a beer."
Or like, "Hey, we're gonna go run, but we're gonna take shots." Before we go run.
Right.
So anyways, we're working out. I got a buzz off of it. And then he goes, "Hey, is there, how's that tasting?" And I was like, "Oh, it doesn't taste like anything anymore." He's like, "Oh shit, spit it out." And I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Well, if you don't want to suck all the fucking flavor out of it." And I was like, "Okay." I didn't know. And then like half an hour later, I had like the worst fucking headache I've ever had. Worst migraine. I was like, "Is this from that?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right, I learned my lesson. Done." And it wasn't, I mean, the buzz wasn't even that good of a buzz. I can get a buzz like that off of a couple beers. You know what I mean? You don't have to suck on that cancer.
But a lot of people actually get hooked on things like that, and their very first experience isn't good. You know, they get sick. I remember when I did chew a lot when I got older, Kodiak, right?
Great names.
Right.
This sounds so cool.
When I put a pinch of Kodiak in high school, I would put it in, and it was almost like somebody was shitting in my face. Right? I would put it in like this.
Now I'm ready.
That is a really bad face, too.
Yeah, and it's no wonder I was getting laid like left and right in high school. But it was weird. You know, it was such a terrible initial feeling, but why would we put ourselves through that? You know, unless.
Well, I mean, look at it like this. The first time you guys had beers. First time I had a beer, it was something like not even good. It was like probably Bud Light. I thought that was horrible. I thought beer was just the worst shit ever. But I'm thinking like after a while, you probably, I don't know, create like a desire to have it. Like you might like the nuances of like a Miller Lite versus a Bud Light. So you start moving on to new beers. And then, you know,
I
you
like
find
the little differences between a Bud Light and a
You know
Bud
what?
Light.
One of my favorite stories, and we'll show it here coming up, is one of the interviews that we did.
Confluence.
It was Confluence.
It was Confluence.
It was
yeah.
Confluence.
I was going to try to get that in before you were like, here it is. Here we go. Jesus. I want us to look like, you know, like, oh, it's some brewer we talked to. It was the guy from Confluence.
All right. I apologize. Would you like to do I'll say the little story and then you can announce who it is?
No. Instead of you saying,
I don't
we
wanna
talked
step
to
on-
some guy and we know exactly who we talked to.
I was having a brain fart at that time, and I couldn't remember exactly who it was. I remembered the story, but I couldn't remember exactly who it was that said.
Well, it doesn't really matter because here you go.
Hey, we're with John and Ken from Confluence Brewing. Guys, why Brrr Fest? Why this year?
It's just an awesome winter event. You know, it's taking in the whole eastern Iowa and giving us the exposure we'd like to have with the eastern Iowa folks.
We're on Thomas Beck Road on the south side of Des Moines, just south of Grays Lake, if anybody knows where that's at. And we have a tap room that's open 6 days a week, so come by and see us sometime.
I started officially in 1995, if you count my high school days of brewing, 1991. But I was a home brewer for about 17 years. I love the process. I grew up on a farm, and I think the grain is endearing to me. Watching the yeast do their work is just fun. I don't know, I'm just a geek about beer.
How many events do you guys try to get to every year?
Right now we're doing this size of event like this, probably about 20 this size, and then various other smaller events that we do for charities and different organizations around the city. But we're expanding our wings a little bit and doing some events in Omaha area and Kansas City. So altogether, probably 30 to 40 opportunities to get in front of lots of people. So.
And where could people find your products at?
They can find them all over Des Moines metro area and also in the corridor. So Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Ames, over in Council Bluffs. We do self-distribute, so we're not with any one distributor, and if you want our beer, you have to ask for it. You have to, go to your local establishment and say, I want Confluence. I demand Confluence.
And what do each of you guys specialize in with the company?
Okay, I'm the president and chief operating officer. I brew the beer, so I'm there all day, every day.
I'm mostly in charge of events and special assignments like this kind of an event here, getting it ready, set up, and all that. So that's what I do all summer long, basically. So, yeah.
Well, thank you guys very much for taking the time.
Thank you.
There were some beers, though, I was really disappointed with. Really, I can't say that about any of the interviews that we did. We did, how many? 7? 8? 8. All of their beers were pretty good. Mm-hmm. I liked some more than others, but none of them were bad. But then I went to a beer... distributor that I thought, oh, I've had that beer before. I'm going to check it out. I got there. They had either ran out of the water spray, whatever. Okay. They weren't rinsing out glasses at all anymore. And they filled up my glass, and I took a drink, and I was like, oh, man, that is the worst thing I've put in my mouth all day.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You told me not to go over and get any.
Yeah, I go, don't worry about it. Don't go there. Yeah.
That's actually how my day started. I can't remember what brewery it was, and if I remembered, I probably wouldn't say anyways.
Good thinking.
Yeah, very smart.
However, it was like they were trying to cross two beers. There's a lot of that shit going on right now, like a black IPA. Woo! So it was one of those like cross pollinations, and I said, hey, I would like to try that. That sounds very interesting, and they filled me up probably a little bit more than 2 ounces. And what I've kind of found that I like to do, especially if I'm taking a beer from a brewer, is I'll say thank you. I will turn around and I'll walk a couple paces away because I don't want them to see me go. Oh,
the grimace look.
That is so horrible.
Oh, that's pretty thoughtful. I don't know if I did that.
I didn't notice. I didn't notice this at the Brrr Fest, and if it wasn't there, maybe it could be there next time.
Yeah.
There was only 2 times out of all the times that I had my glass filled, that I thought I can't even finish this. I can't even finish what they poured me. I don't even want to.
Right.
But there was no place for me to get rid of it.
Yeah, sure. I get you. there are like places in the so you know how it was set up where you have the strip of breweries in the middle, and then you have all the rest of them are on
around
the outside.
perimeter. Yeah.
So in the middle, which could easily be clouded by the massive amounts of people that were in there drinking, we have like dump buckets.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, they look like, and they're pretty inconspicuous. They kind of look like garbage cans.
Just next to the spray bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
use it.
and you can just dump them out there, or a lot of the brewers will dump out, and I think just about all the brewers had spray bottles because I was filling them up. And they'll spray that shit for you too.
I thought that was a cool thing that I never thought of. Is to spray the bottle, because I walked over, I saw everybody spraying.
That was our first year this year of doing that.
Really?
We used to have like pitchers of water that you could just rinse them out and then dump them.
Yeah, the spray bottle was perfect.
I saved a lot of water.
Yeah. And
at first I thought, wait, are you
put
putting
that
chemicals
shit
in there?
right in there. Right.
Yeah, but it was just water. It was perfect.
Yeah.
So I had that terrible beer in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, can you please dump that out? And the lady, she might have done it 100 times that day.
Right.
And I might have taken it wrong, but she looked at me. The look that she gave me, I felt like she was giving me really? Are you fucking serious? Do I need to dump your fucking glass?
No.
You can't do that shit?
Most brewers I gave it to just dumped it out and sprayed it out.
Yeah.
This was towards the end of the day, though. I'm
In a bad mood, tired.
She might have been.
Might have been.
She might have been. But anyway, I had a really great time, especially with Big Grove, that's located in Solon.
Yep.
His interview was really good because he made a comment about, you know what, I'm more interested in creating a stellar product.
That sounds like Bill Heinrich that you talked to.
Yeah.
Is that who you talked to? Bill.
Yeah.
Creating a stellar product and not worrying so much about advertising.
Yeah.
Because word of mouth, he said word of mouth will get you what you need to have anyways.
Yep. And by the way, here's the interview with Bill.
All right, we're here with Bill. Bill, where's your brewery located? Where are you at?
We're in Solon, Iowa, a little north of Iowa City on Highway 1, kind of right in the center of downtown in the corner of Main and Iowa Street.
Now, you guys took over the old Jonesy's building. I grew up in Solon, but you guys have turned that building into a beautiful, beautiful establishment.
Well, thank you. I've been really pleased with what we've been able to do with that space. It looks a lot bigger than it is, and we've managed to squeeze a lot of good stuff into there, I feel like. We've had good luck with the brewery so far. We've got a killer kitchen staff, a great menu, great chef, and then the atmosphere and the front of house people. It's really coming together. Depending on what time of year you hit us, we'll run anywhere from 4 to 10. Right now we're running about 8. We try and keep our core brands on, which would be the IPA, the Arms Race, que sera, and the wheat, but that's a tricky proposition considering that we're kind of small on the backside of the thing. But hopefully we'll be able to keep up a little better moving forward. But yeah, normally we'll run, like I said, about 4 core brands and then 4 experimental or one-off or whatever we happen to be in the mood for. So, when I was in college and 19, it was a lot harder to buy beer than it was to buy the ingredients to make it. So, you learn pretty quick. But I've always had a passion for food and for cooking, and I feel like this is really a specialized version of that whole mentality. So we're running a lot of stainless in a specialized kitchen. It's pretty fun. We're working on a few things, of course. We always have a few things, more beer dinners, more food focus when we can do it, with some of the breweries that we like to work with, our partner breweries. Our anniversary is the end of August. That's always a fun one. But, when it comes to Big Grove, I feel like the most important thing for us is that, marketing is not really what we're good at, and it's marketing is deception and beer is truth, and I feel like our beers and our truth really stands for itself. And moving forward, that's really where we want to be. We want to be number one on quality. We want to set our standards high and then bring everybody with us and have a good time while we're there. So,
and we're back.
You know what? I will let Todd jab me as much as he wants tonight because last night it was a brutal.
They busted
flogging.
my balls all
night.
We flogged
It was
the
terrible.
shit out
Like
of him.
they being how
as
many
in,
people?
As in me and the comedian.
Yeah.
Oh,
Doug Thompson.
It started out with I played a Card Against Humanity card that he thought was just the stupidest card he'd ever heard, which is why I did it. He had no reaction at all. He laughed. He sat there and looked at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
You know what?
And then
Doug did
the
not
whole
like,
rest of the night, he was like,
he kept bringing it up.
He go, "Hey Todd, geese." That was my card. He was like, "Geese." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up. Leave me alone, would you please?" He didn't really care for Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, he didn't like the game really anyway.
Yeah.
So, but hey, it's not for everybody.
Life.
You know what I did after Brrr Fest?
What's that?
The people that we came there with, we ended up going to get some food, and then they said, "Hey, you want to come back to the house and we'll play Cards Against Humanity?"
Get the fuck out of here!
I will not get the fuck out of here. That's exactly what we did.
And you had a great time, didn't you?
So you remember the merch table?
Mm-hmm.
My girlfriend, the dark-haired woman, and then there was a blonde, and we went to the blonde's house.
I never met your girlfriend.
What?
I never met your girlfriend either. I mean, I've met her one time.
Yeah.
Twice, I think.
I
but
mean, their shit was busy. You know, it's...
Right.
Yeah.
True. I'm trying to think if I ever ran into her, if we crossed paths.
I think I talked to people at the merchandise table, but maybe I didn't even know it was her. So
yeah. No, and I mean, just...
Are you Nick Snavy's lover?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I am. I'm doing too many voices tonight. I'm totally...
You know, be one of the weirder things to happen to her.
If somebody were to walk up to her and do like, well, I don't even know what that was. Was that like
Nick
a gay
Snavely's
pirate?
lover?
Are you Nick Snavely's lover? What was that? What was that, by the way?
Gotta shake hand.
I don't know. Wow, you guys are doing a really good job right now with your accents.
She's gonna be like, you're on the show twice now. This
Why
is really
exactly
bad.
the second time?
Really
I don't know about the second time. The first time,
My suggestion is not to go on a third time.
Yeah.
That's my suggestion.
Or if you do, play Cards Against Humanity.
Well, that's pretty cool though. That you guys it's pretty fun though. They have the small little black box.
Yeah, they had like the smaller black box.
Cool.
And we played with 7 people.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so it was quite an ordeal. And I mean,
you just laugh,
crying because you're laughing so hard. Yeah.
I mean, even if it's inappropriate, you gotta love something that can generate those kind of belly laughs just out of dem titties. I mean, come on. I can still want to start laughing just when I think about it.
Yeah, there's some games that do that to you, make you laugh, cry, right? You laugh, cry so hard you're laughing so hard you cry, whatever. And then you have those games that you play with your kids, like Monopoly, and you're like, can I fucking kill myself right now?
Yeah,
I can't stand to play one more minute of this game.
We used to play. What was that game where they had it was electronic and it would beep, and you had to try to get your catchphrase or
Simon Says.
No, your wife. It was.
Was it Simon Says?
It's your wife's, and so you had. I think it was catchphrase. So you had to try to get the person to say the catchphrase without saying anything in the word. And it's going beep, beep. I think Jimmy Fallon even plays it on his show, and you had to try to pass it to the next person before it goes off.
Right.
That usually got some pretty good laughs, just because it was funny to watch people like struggle to try to think of things to say, but not near as good as Cards Against Humanity.
Not near as
good. And I mean, there were parents involved in this game. So after, I think it was something about, it was like a clitoris card or something like that. And I saw both of her parents laugh. I was like, well, game on. So every time, like, her mom, it was her turn, like, I just tried to give her the most evil, vile,
sexual
thing to say.
Right. I just wanted to hear it come out of her mouth.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Which is what I did to Todd when there was a sweet older lady sitting where you're sitting, and he had to say a face full of horse cum.
Yeah, it was terribly uncomfortable.
I love that moment.
Well, then last time we had a couple that didn't want to read their card either, and then I read it and I was like, oh, and that was Buddha and Shiva fucking the holes in Jesus's hands. And I was like, who comes up with that? That was the one where I was like going, okay.
Really?
That might have been
Buddha and Shiva?
It was just, I'm not a religious person at all, but it's still kind of like going, okay, that's.
Are you sure they weren't
really might?
Are you sure they weren't finger banging the holes in Jesus?
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing.
I don't know.
It was just extremely inappropriate.
Inappropriate.
And they were both Christians.
Yeah.
And so that was not very good as well.
Well, so were her parents, and they were great fun. I left there being extremely satisfied with my laughter level, and it was a great night.
Well, even Christians need to cut loose once in a while.
Oh yeah.
One of the brewers that was really relaxed and cutting loose, Schlafly, the guy with the kilt.
Oh, that was him?
That was him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's why I was really excited to meet him, because I thought, man, Stephen Hale,
he's got a personality.
Yeah. I mean, we almost didn't want to cut some of the footage because he was like in the camera going, thanks for coming, and this is how you pronounce the name. Not this way, this way.
Yeah.
So he's an interesting guy.
And here's his interview.
We're here with Stephen today with Schlafly Brewing. Stephen, where are you guys located at?
We actually have two breweries in the city of St. Louis. One is on 21st Street, downtown, just west of downtown. And the other one is about 7 miles away, just over the city line in the city of Maplewood, Missouri. 2 locations. This is actually my first year, but Schlafly was represented by our sales rep in the area the past 2 or 3 years. I think every year that it's happened, Schlafly has been here. You can actually find Schlafly beer at almost every location, as many as possible, within about a 300-mile or 6-hour drive of St. Louis, as well as the eastern seaboard from Virginia to New York City. Each of our bars has 16 or 18, depending on how you count them, at each of the 2 locations. We have 2 beer engines at the taproom downtown, and the whole portfolio combined is close to 85 different beers over the course of the year brewed at the 2 locations. Whole sales crew and events crew probably does hundreds of events. And I myself go to as many beer festivals and beer dinners as possible. I work with the sales crew in the market where we distribute. I was 22 years in production, and for the past year and a half have been out and about in the market with them, which is why I get to put Ambassador Brewer on my business card. My brother taught me how to make homebrew when I was 19 years old in Syracuse, New York. That was a long time ago. And I fell in love with the aroma immediately. We do, as I mentioned, we do literally hundreds of events. We just had Burns Night at the Taproom 2 nights ago. We have the repeal of Prohibition Beer Festival coming up in April. The best thing to do is check out schlafly.com and look at the event section of the website. And I will help promote the Heritage Festival in St. Louis in the middle of June. We've got some little reminder save the date tickets here. And that is a wonderful festival because it's only the nearly 30 local breweries within 75 miles of St. Louis at that event, with about 100 different beers available. Middle of June in Forest Park.
Well, Stephen, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you for the time. And save the dates.
These last 2 days have been fucking crazy.
Yes.
Last weekend I had off was crazy when we did Brrr Fest. I carpool with a fella, and he goes, "Hey, so what are you doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday that you're off?" And I listed all the things, and he goes, "You're doing that all week? That's your whole weekend?" I go, "No, that's just Friday, and Saturday is this."
And Sunday,
and he goes, "Jesus, I was pissed because I had to go to Tyson's tonight." And make one other stop, and he goes, and that almost ruined my weekend.
No, man,
it's interesting though, because it goes back to that old way of thinking that if you like what you do, doesn't feel like work. And I mean, I was tired as well, and tired from last night, and it gets overwhelming sometimes. But then you're just like, oh man, it's just too much fun. You're having a great time. Oh hey, I was gonna tell you that.
Yep.
Oh hey, we had Brad Potter. He works out at the gym.
At CrossFit 2.2.
CrossFit 2.2.
Right.
He gave us $500 on our Kickstarter campaign today.
That's right, Brad Potter.
How badass
Thank you very
is
much,
that?
sir.
Wow, good for you guys.
And then my brother got on and goes, "I just gave you $100." I was like, "Hey, it all works." But yeah, Brad really hooked us up. It was very nice.
One of the things that you said about the Kickstarter stuff and Facebook today really shocked me. That Facebook
limits what people can see that you share. Because if you really want to share stuff, then it costs you money. And I was wondering why we couldn't get more hits on there.
More hits, more likes, any comments.
And, been Facebooking like crazy person. I've been Facebooking on his Facebook page and mine. And I have all these people that are saying, oh, we didn't know you had a Kickstarter campaign. I'm like, I know that I'm friends with you. I see your feed and I know you see mine.
Right, yeah.
And so I think we have to boost something.
I mean, would it be like worth your time to actually like email people? Like send links to their email so you know that it's getting to them directly?
Well, and I even thought about private messaging every single friend that I have on Facebook. Like literally everybody.
Right, but then you're still going through the filter of Facebook.
No, I'm private messaging directly to them.
Oh.
And I can say something like, hey, if you've seen this a lot, sorry, we're just trying to hit everybody we can, kind of comment. So,
Oh, dude, like, have you made like an event page? Like maybe you can make it an event. Like this is then you can put like an end date and you can invite all the people that you want.
Oh.
And then,
we got 19 days, man. I guess we could do it for 19 days.
We still have 19 days left.
Yeah.
Just under 3 weeks, people.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous about it. Kickstarter is one of those things that if you set a goal too high, you could just miss it. And then you don't get any of the donations, and all the donations go back to the individuals that made them. But yeah, that's our first venture out into the.
Well, yeah. Like, what's the address for your Kickstarter?
It's TPSP Productions. Go to Kickstarter.
If you type in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, ours is one of the first ones that pop up too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because there's 4 or 5 that have already been funded through or from Cedar Rapids.
Right on.
So, all right, $20 gets us estimated people of 3,400 to 8,000 people.
Now, how much are you guys looking for?
$10,000.
$10,000.
Yeah.
Holy shit balls.
Is that a lot?
How far are you guys at right now?
What, 1%?
1%?
2%?
I think it's 1%.
Yeah, we're not very close at all. Now all of that money, in fact, we could really use a lot more. But the things that we're hoping to use that money for, one is a TriCaster, which is a piece of equipment that would allow us. It would cut down my post-production time to nothing.
Yeah.
So as soon as the podcast is over with, boom, it's done already, because you're able to switch between cameras. You're able to put lower thirds underneath people.
Yeah.
Special effects, green screen, all that stuff comes with that TriCaster. And if people wanted to have a live show, to where people can log on and
Brrr
watch
Fest,
it.
Maybe have a table at Brrr Fest, and we're live from Brrr Fest, and
that would
so then
badass.
you can
cool.
you can field questions, and people can watch on a Tuesday at 7:00 or whatever this comes on. And I know people are looking, companies and different people are kind of hoping for something like that, a feature like that, and something like a TriCaster is probably the most user friendly thing for
and
that.
they run about 8.
Oh,
right.
Snap.
Right. And then the rest would be paying for some equipment that I've already purchased and some stuff that I'd like to upgrade.
Okay.
Just for better sound and cameras.
Yeah,
and
to
like
give
that.
more people an opportunity to come in and make it easy.
Right. Initially, we had thought that maybe we would go find a location, figure out what rent would be for that location.
Okay.
And then estimate it, for a whole year, what would it be to take the studio somewhere and try to do a Kickstarter annually to kind of pay for that year's production and rent and stuff like that. But this first Kickstarter is just going to be pretty much about equipment.
Yeah, it is all about equipment.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's kind of like the pledge drive on NPR.
Yes, it is.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And people on my Facebook page, I thought I was just boring the shit out of them, but obviously they're not seeing it at all. So it's $20 to boost it to almost 8,000 people. I'll just boost it when I get home. Done.
So what does that mean?
I have no idea, but
what does
I'm willing to try
Facebook
it.
actually do? I mean, when you pay $20, does that put an ad on the side of everyone's Facebook
I think
page?
it takes off I'm sure it takes off a filter of some sort. That's my assumption is. It takes off some kind of filter that they have on there for, I don't care. I'm willing to spend $20 and just see what happens.
You know what? Here's the thing. By the time people see this video, there's still going to be a week or two left.
A week.
Yeah, a week of our Kickstarter campaign. So I would really encourage people to go to the YouTube comments and educate us. Throw stuff in there. If you did a Kickstarter and it was very successful, What did you do that made it successful? What did you learn about Kickstarter? The do's and don'ts. Those would be very helpful comments.
Absolutely.
Or if you want to leave a comment, hey, your guys' video fucking sucked.
It didn't suck.
I know it didn't. But if somebody wanted to say that,
I don't think you really need to ask for those.
Yeah.
Usually
for shitty. For
please
shitty
be
comments.
a troll. Can you be a troll?
Can you please be a troll?
That's
Just
how we
get
know
some of
we're
your anger
successful.
out.
It'll make you feel better. Just get it out, buddy. That's awesome.
There you go.
Don't you feel better? I feel like shit, but as long as you feel better.
You know what I'd like to do? We talked about this a little bit, Nick. Are you still down with doing a few 5-minute shows?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of potential and a lot of agility in just being shorter. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to line up like 5-6 bars.
Yeah.
And you stop in, and you plan it ahead of time so they know we're coming in. They have a spot for us. We come in, set up, shoot it, on to the next.
I was actually talking to one of my friends just last night about it, and he said he's on board. So
Really?
Yeah, one of my bartender friends.
Oh, really?
That's hot action.
Cool. That's
you know
awesome.
what one bar would be great? The Lions Bridge Brewery.
Yeah. Quinn already emailed me. He emailed me first. Emailed me first in the sense of, instead of me getting a hold of him, he contacted me and said, "Hey, I know you and I have talked quite a bit. I'm really sorry I haven't been on your podcast. I want to do it. I talked to you at Brrr Fest, and let's set a date right now." And so we set one.
I really enjoyed interviewing Quinn and catching him off guard a little bit with a question that he didn't realize that anybody knew about. So here's Quinn's interview.
Lion Bridge Brewery.
Quinn today from Lion Bridge Brewery. How you doing? Nice to meet you. Quinn, where are you guys located at?
We are in Cedar Rapids, in the historic Czech Village, New Bohemia Main Street District at 59 16th Avenue Southwest. We have been there since early March of last year, of 2014, so not a year yet. It was something where after high school, I moved out to Colorado, got really interested in the beer scene out there, ended up staying and going to school in Fort Collins, Colorado, staying out there, ended up getting a job at a brewery, worked my way up to, brewer, and that was sort of the story. But wanted to come back to Cedar Rapids and start a brewery at some point. Well, we've increased. When we opened, we had like 3, that we had, and now we have somewhere between 10 and 12 of our own beers, and we keep a couple guest beers of Iowa breweries as well. So last year, I think we did probably 5 or 6. It's been me doing them exclusively. As we're growing and getting a few more staff people that can do these things, I hope that we can branch out and do 2 events a weekend or get more people out there. But right now, we'll do as many as we feasibly can. At the Great American Beer Festival in Denver last year, we took a gold medal for our Workman's Compensation, which is an English style mild ale. So it was a great honor, something to pick up in the first 7 months. I think it's I know for me, I was amazed and shocked and But it's a great beer, so I shouldn't have been surprised. But you can't, you're standing in front of a stadium of thousands and thousands of brewers and people, and you win this award. It's awesome for me, and I think awesome for the Iowa beer scene. We're doing in January. We've done Barrel Aged January this entire month. So every week we've been releasing a new Cedar Ridge Barrel Aged beer. We've released 3 up to this point. We're doing a little preview keg right now of the Gazprom, which is our Russian Imperial Stout aged in Cedar Ridge rye whiskey barrels with some dark maple syrup added to it. It's really awesome. It's what I'm drinking right now, or testing, to make sure it's good enough for public consumption. So yeah, we release that beer next Wednesday. But we usually crank out a couple new beers at least a month or more than that on our 10-barrel system. So it's always something new and fun to try out.
Now, are you working on something special for the Sappadapado St. Patrick's Day?
How did you know about that? That's we're doing an Irish potato stout. So we brewed that. I brewed that last week with 100 pounds of mashed potatoes. So I'd seen various incarnations of this. Some people do sweet potato beers. I've seen a potato beer, but we sourced 100 pounds of organic Yukon Gold potatoes and peeled them, chopped them, cooked them, mashed them, and then I threw them in the mash with the beer, with the grain. And so it should add hopefully some dryness to that Irish stout, make it real nice and drinkable. So I'm pretty excited about that beer. It's going really well. I just checked on it this morning. It's going to be fantastic.
Wonderful. Hey, Quinn, thank you very much for taking the time. Good luck to you today.
Pleasure.
I liked Potosi. Now, the one thing about Potosi...
They were my favorite. I'm going to put that out there.
They were my favorite. They were... I won't say they were my favorite, but they were definitely the top 5 beers for me that I drank.
Clean, great.
Oh,
Yeah,
that day?
very, very clean.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
The
super
one
rare.
thing that I'm sure they're probably saying, oh, if we didn't bring a banner.
They did.
We're the,
they said
we're
that.
the one brewery.
They said that. They were
didn't
upset.
bring-
But Rick, the guy who we talked to,
Right.
he, what caught me off guard about Potosi was that they're a completely nonprofit. They don't, the money they make, they give to charity. Like, what are you talking about? That's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. I was standing there talking to your brother-in-law, and we were both like, how does that even fucking work?
Yeah. But he said, I mean, it's the 1886 is when it started. It's one of the oldest breweries. It's right up there with Milwaukee and Miller and something else, and that they've been around for forever. And I'm like, how can I have never heard of this? And they're a state away.
Dude, I kind of
You
feel
know?
like maybe a road trip. Like,
A road trip. Well, they did invite us.
They invited us.
They invited us up to do possibly a commercial, but definitely a podcast up there.
And they want us to come and possibly shoot for they have a beer festival in Dubuque.
Oh.
Right, and it's a big deal
big one,
this year because
it's an anniversary or something.
There were, I thought that there was like, was it Potosi that they had taken over? They were like the biggest establishment in the area. Like they had kind of taken
I don't
over.
know.
They were going to be rebuilding and
Yeah, they were doing a $4.5 million renovation.
Right.
That was Potosi.
Right,
Well,
okay.
let's see what Rick has to say.
I am with Rick from Potosi today. Rick, why Brrr Fest?
It's a great event for the Cedar Rapids area, Iowa City, Coralville, and we always like to be a part of it. We're in southwestern Wisconsin, about 20 minutes north of Dubuque. Being from Wisconsin, there's an event constantly in Wisconsin with all of our breweries, so we probably go to 30 events a year. We opened in 1852, and so we have a huge brewing history. At one time, the Potosi Brewing Company was the 5th largest brewery in the state of Wisconsin, and that was competing with Milwaukee and Pabst and Miller, and so we were pretty big, and we were around for a long time. We're going through a $4.7 million expansion right now at our facility, so we're going to be bottling, kegging, and canning beer. We have our 4th annual Dubuque on Ice Brrr Fest coming up on February 21st in Dubuque. And then we are also home of the National Brewery Museum, and that is an exhibit that's open year-round, 7 days a week. The National Brewery Museum chose us over Milwaukee and St. Louis to house their museum, so we're proud of that fact.
Well, very nice meeting you today. Good luck.
Thank you.
That was a badass, and let's
But
listen to
dude.
it now.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah.
And he was a TV guy, too.
Yeah.
Did you have to do that? Did you have to go?
That's good because some of my segues last night were horrible.
Man.
I had some really bad ones. I was like, oh, I got to tell you about this pig in the middle of some other conversation. And they're both looking at me like, what is wrong with you? That's why I suffered all the abuse because I really felt a little off last night. Like I just was not on my game.
You were a little bit off.
I sucked at Cards Against Humanity. Nobody laughed at my shit. It was horrible. And then I made a comment about, oh, would this be good for stand-up? And he's like, yeah, that's pretty fucking hacky. I'm like, what's that mean?
What's hacky?
I'm like, what's that mean? He's like, you're a hack, and I would never use that idea. I'm like, oh my God, you're a horrible person.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
I'm gonna go cut my wrist.
Yeah, exactly. Can I, when you hear the shotgun goes off.
One of the things that wasn't hacky at all was CIB.
Oh,
The
my
brewery.
girlfriend actually got a T-shirt from those guys.
Yeah, they had some
What was
funny
that?
little T-shirts.
What was that one T-shirt that I loved?
With the gun?
No, it had the little writing across it. Oh shoot! You said you got a picture of it. Well, we can listen to him and see it. But they were funny, and he was really. I mean, he wanted to make sure you saw him drinking beer on camera. That he just loves what he does. You know?
What does the CIB stand for?
Chefs in Black.
Oh,
yeah.
Chefs in Black.
Yeah.
Why exactly chefs?
We never got
We
that.
never
out.
did fucking ask that, did we?
But he was another one who wanted to be. He was another one who wanted us to come to the brewery.
Oh,
So
maybe you guys can find out
Yeah,
next time.
and I like the
what's
fact
going
that
on.
him and his wife were like, kind of hand in hand right in there, and she was
Right.
wearing a shirt that said
polite as fuck. I love that shirt.
Yeah.
Alex, why Brrr Fest? Why are you here today?
Because it seriously is one of the best festivals that we do. It's very well put together, and we have a lot of fun. And the majority of Iowa beers, I'm in. I mean, it's that easy. I had the stupid idea that I was going to brew all the beer that I drank, and that kind of snowballed, and we got to a point where we wanted to make do something. We were thinking about doing a deli or a barbecue joint or something like that. And it's like, you know what? We have all the stuff for a nano brewery right here, and all we have to do is get the license. And so it kind of it just kind of happened. Right now, we're a production-only brewery. You can get all of our beers at John's Grocery, and we're going to be opening a tasting room in Carson, Iowa, hopefully the next month or two. So look for that, please.
All right. Thank you very much, Alex, for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
It's the little things that make me giggle.
Absolutely.
You know, to kind of takes
well,
the edge
he was
off.
one of the first ones when I went around talking to brewers and, hey, are you cool with this? He's like, oh, man, you give me 15 minutes. I'm all over it. Like, he was really, but all the brewers were like, I love talking about beer. Yeah, come over whenever you're ready. I just love talking about beer and what we do.
That was awesome. I was kind of afraid that they might be a little bit too busy, so that's really cool.
Well, I tried to time it as well. I went over when I could tell they were kind of winding down.
He was like this. You were like the cocaine sniffing bumblebee. You were like just constantly figure eighting around the convention center.
Sniffing bumblebee.
Yeah,
right. I mean, it gives you a really good visual of like
I'm not
really
sure
busy.
if it does.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I
can't
thought you
stop
meant
moving.
like a
busy
bumblebee
bee
that actually searches for cocaine.
So did I.
Really?
Sniffing
That's the
dog.
image that you got?
Yeah, some tweaked out bumblebee.
All right.
Where's
Well,
my next hit at?
How about this?
Can I blow you for some cash?
With my little bumblebee mouth.
What the fuck is that?
It's too big.
I know, Matt.
For anybody who's actually paid attention
That's
to a
so
bumblebee
insane.
giving another bumblebee head,
Yeah.
that's I guess the noise.
That's what it sounds like. If you didn't know what it sounded like, that's what it sounds like.
Like, I watch a lot of National Geographic. Seen that shit.
No, it was fun to kind of. Nobody said no, and so after a while, I was kind of like going, okay, well, I'm getting a lot of people, so maybe we should just kind of slow down and see what we get. And
I gotta
and move
say,
on, you
you had the sound guy look fucking down. The look,
I remember that.
the fanny pack,
Yeah.
the headgear, the fucking cords and everything hanging off of you. You're walking around with a purpose. You got your shoulders back.
Why do you? I didn't look like that.
You're a CrossFitter. All CrossFitters look like that.
My face didn't look like that at all. I wasn't like, what's up?
Yeah,
Who's
no,
fucking next.
Hey, no, you were. At times
No,
you
I
were.
wasn't.
At times you were like, oh, what's going on? All right, they're setting up. I've already talked to them. I was sitting. I felt like a lazy fuck because I was like, okay, I'm a little nervous. Todd has this down. He's going to be running around setting these things up. I don't want to step on his toes by talking to somebody he just got done talking to, and they're like, oh, dude, I just said I would do it.
Yeah.
To your partner, you know. So I picked a chair and a table, and I just sat down and waited for him to come back to me and say, "Okay, we got some lined up. Let's go." But so I would sit there and I'm watching you, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! It's the 6th time around that corner. And then you'd stop, and you'd kind of talk to yourself and point, and then boom, you take off again.
Look at my notes. Yeah. Well, because there's certain
you
people I was
did a great
waiting.
job, buddy. That's
Thanks.
that's the positivity coming out. I'm giving you a compliment.
I appreciate that.
You did a fantastic job.
If only your other partner would have shown up, then he could have done the sound.
He's kind of a lazy fuck.
I guess so.
He specializes in other aspects
Of your business?
of the business.
Okay.
Of the business.
I had a great time. I had a really, really good time. I mean, I think that's the biggest one I've ever been to. The one that was at Nubo Market was really small, but it was kind of my first introduction to getting a little glass and doing the whole thing. And then, of course, when I was doing that one, I didn't care about any beer. All I was thinking about was the podcast. So I really didn't enjoy it too much. And then, but this one, I was like, oh, if you do 8 interviews, we can sit back and really kind of get to know people. And once we got to know some of the brewers, we went up and I was like, hey, thanks so much for earlier. I really want to try some of the stuff you have to offer. And they want to talk about it even more. It was just really a great time. It was really fun.
I really had kind of this idea in my head that once we got done talking to them in the interview, I said, do you mind if I come back later on while everything's really busy and I get some B-roll footage? And I get behind the table and they're like, yeah, come on in. And I really thought if I was them, I'd be like, dude, we're going to be fucking busy. Can you just not be in our shit?
Oh, you sound like an asshole when you say stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know, because I'd be stressed out, but they weren't stressed out. Because I get stressed out easily, but they weren't stressed out.
Well, it's also
They've
about
probably done this quite a bit.
Yeah, and we weren't, and we didn't approach them like assholes.
Yeah,
sure.
We knew we knew we were doing it for a reason and a purpose, and it was only to promote them. And so, why would you be?
Now
the best part was when the
You're talking about the keg?
Yeah, the gentleman from Big Grove.
Yeah,
forget his name, but they did a hand tap where they tap.
Oh yeah, they tapped a frickin'
numbnuts over here gets behind the keg where everything's going to spray
with my
out.
camera.
With his
my camera. Now I'm not right behind it.
It's pretty damn.
I'm
close.
directionally. I am behind it. I'm right behind it direction, but I'm like 10, 15 feet away. But I'm zoomed in with the camera, and he whacks the fucking spigot, whatever, into the keg, and you just see just spraying everywhere. And I jump back like this. I'm pretty sure I made that noise. And then he's just whacking away at it, and it stops. And then I come forward. I'm looking at the camera. He goes, "Hey man, I'm really sorry. I probably should have warned you about that." I'm like, "Oh, no worries. There's no beer on it."
And I was watching from afar, and I was like, "Oh!"
Then the realization of here's a really expensive camera, possibly getting sprayed beer all over.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it'll just be a
learning
sticky
opportunity.
It is a good learning opportunity.
Why's your camera so sticky? I don't.
It would have been really funny if he would have placed that right next to the keg and he was getting ready to swing it, and I shoved the camera like right in there.
That would have
like
been horrible.
It would have been horrible, but it would have been funny.
Sure, if you had like
if you were somebody else
taping you,
yes,
and they were like, "Yeah, this is how an asshole does it."
Yes, exactly.
Oh man, that would have been so.
If you want to lose a lot of money, watch what this guy does.
He just throws money away.
I don't think he quite understands what's going to happen.
Get a parka on, plastic around your camera. Right. That guy knows what he's doing. There was another crew that were there shooting. They weren't interviewing people, but they had a shoulder thing with like a LED light flash, and somebody had another thing with headphones on. Wasn't sure. Did you double book us? Did you think we were going to fuck up?
I didn't even
have somebody else in there to make sure.
Maybe I don't care.
Allegedly.
But yeah, no, I didn't know that they were going to be there. They looked young, so I was thinking that maybe it was something to do with like a school project or something like that.
That's the kind of high school project I'd want to be part of.
Like something at the university's right there.
Yeah,
so.
For sure.
I did like at one point, and we had just gotten done with all the filming. We had gotten done with everything, and we were putting all the equipment back in the car. And Tad goes, "Oh, hey, just follow me." I go, "Where the fuck are you going?" He goes, "Oh, just go through this door." Now, 99 out of 100 people would not have taken that door. 99 out of 100 people would read the door that said employees only, and they wouldn't go through it.
Yeah.
I opened the door and I saw that it just was a long fucking hallway. And I thought, well, instead of going around all these corners with all these people and we're trying to haul our equipment back and forth, fuck it. And so he's like, "But are there people, other employees?" I'm like, "You don't ask questions. You act like you're supposed to be here, and you fucking walk."
Yeah.
And we were there. We were there like 2 seconds. It was the best.
Yeah.
And we didn't bother anybody. We weren't stealing silverware or anything. It was perfect.
Right.
People steal silverware?
I don't know. I'm just saying, what are people's worry about?
If they can steal it, they'll steal it. Yeah.
Like beer that people might leave on their table.
That's weird.
That is weird.
Peace Trees T-shirts, fantastic. They got to have that soft cotton,
super soft.
I was going to buy one of those T-shirts that say a beer around the state of Iowa, but it's that heavy cotton, and I fucking hate it. Yeah. And I'm such a T-shirt bitch now. I can't stand a T-shirt that's not made out of material like that. I just can't do it.
If it's not going to feel good wearing it, why spend the money printing on it?
No one's going to wear it. I was going to tell Quinn that too, because he's got a pretty cool T-shirt that he does, but it's that heavy cotton. I'm like, I don't want to wear it. Like the Born in the Brewery T-shirt that I wore, that I got a lot of compliments on.
Yeah,
I even had some ladies say,
"Yeah, they would touch you."
Were you born in a brewery?
I didn't know if it was that or if it was the fanny pack that was really getting the juices flowing.
Rocky would probably say it's the fanny pack, but I think it was the T-shirt. But even that T-shirt is uncomfortable after a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just uncomfortable. Again, like I said, I'm being kind of a little bitch about my T-shirts.
Well, it's also important for people who are like, I really want to get a logo on my shirt, or I want to do something. No one's going to wear your stuff if it's not comfortable. And if it's a super comfortable shirt,
look cool too.
Yeah.
If it looks like some stupid bullshit that an employee of X business would wear, then no, man. I mean, that's dumb.
But even dumb-looking shirts that are super comfortable, I'll wear them at home.
Oh, fuck, I'll wear it.
I'll wear it at home.
If it's that soft cotton, I will wear a T-shirt. Doesn't matter. I mean, I have a friend who's a graphic artist in Des Moines, and he had a volleyball T-shirt that he made up for his volleyball team, and it had who's the guy from Anchorman? I'm blanking.
Ron Burgundy.
It has his face, his profile, and it says Channel 4 volleyball team, and it says we score 100%, 60% of the time on the back of it.
Nice.
It's a great shirt, and it's just obnoxious. I wear it all the time when I'm out and about because I like that. I mean, it's dumb, but it's that soft, nice cotton, and so I love it.
What's your buddy's name who does shirt printing?
Tony.
Tony.
Yep. Bike rags. Bike rags is what he does.
Okay, but he also does hats and shirts and not just bicycle.
Oh, I don't know.
No, he does.
Oh, I mean, yes, he does lots of stuff, but he does a special reflective ink for his T-shirts, so that if you're out riding your bike at night or you're jogging, it's reflected. So he has different things. He can print with whatever you want.
And I'm trying to think of the name of his business. It's not just shirt. It's not bike rags. It's Red Ball. Is it Red Ball?
Red Ball. Blue Ball.
No, it's not Blue Balls.
I can look him up.
Yeah, look it up really quick because he went down to the Million Cups. Again, every time I go...
Tony Burnett is his name, by the way.
Tony Burnett. If I'm surprised that I don't see you at Million Cups. I would think that would be one of your things that you would really enjoy. Have you heard of that? Million Cups?
I think we might have talked about it beforehand.
Last time?
Yeah.
Just every Wednesday that we're off, they have it in the morning down at the Geometric building, just south of, you know where that's at? It's just south of the Nubo Market.
Okay.
All right, just across the street next to the old Chrome Horse that burned down. Yeah. It's a new building. But every other Wednesday they present, and Tony Burnett was presenting just this last Wednesday.
Well, because he took a 1950s brick Art Deco building down the Nubo area.
It was an old gas station.
Completely gutted it, and then repainted it and redid it with the cool garage door and stuff like that. And so that's now his print shop and his shop down in Nubo. It's behind the Chrome Horse, kind of back towards Chick Village.
Oh, I think I've seen that.
It's beautiful. They really did a great job.
Yeah.
And he said it was funny that they had brick that got separated or stuff from the flood and stuff like that. He had to go and find bricks from the exact area because the Historical Society. What did I say?
Area.
Sorry. The Historical Society said you can't use just any brick. You need to find the bricks that this building used.
Right.
So it took him a long time to try to get it all together.
Wow. And to have the similar look of the windows and the roll-up
I
garage.
like Art Deco. That shit is cool. We don't have enough
Especially
of that.
old. Legit.
So when he gave his presentation, people said, so what exactly do you need help with? Because it sounds like you're doing really great. He goes, if anybody could find another gas pump just like this one that's in this photo, there's supposed to be a pair of gas pumps there, and he goes, that's really all I need. That, and how can I help my community? So Tony Burnett, he's a pretty cool guy.
So how the fuck, you can just go down there and watch this shit happen?
It's open to the public, and you get to be
a showroom, kind of.
Yeah, it's open to the public, and you get to be basically like the people on Shark Tank. So after they give a 6-minute presentation, they say, this is what I need help with.
Okay.
And also, there's a Q&A. There's like a 15-minute Q&A with everybody in the audience. So a really cool new product is called Me Too, right? Another business that presented was one that was called Me Too. And it's kind of like Twitter or Facebook or something like that. It's a social media medium, but it's explicitly for teenagers, junior high, high school kids.
Okay.
And they showed how it's different than any other one. You don't get a name. You can't log in. You don't have a profile. It will not show where you're from, who's posting it.
Sounds awesome.
Type of a thing.
I was just thinking the same thing.
But you're able to say, I'm having this issue. This happened to me today. And somebody else can go, me too.
Oh, gotcha.
And so,
So not naming names.
There's no naming names.
Right.
It's just saying that situation happened to you. Me too. This is how it happened to me, or this is how I handled it, or
Awesome.
here's a different angle for you.
So it's kind of like
to deal
just
with
like a chat forum.
It's kind of like that, but you can't directly, you can't key off of another person's comment.
Sure.
Right. So if the example was, I really, my coach today told me that I really suck at baseball and I should never come out for baseball again. So you couldn't have a troll out there that linked to that comment and said, well, you actually do suck at baseball. Don't ever fucking come back.
Right.
You know, to make that person feel worse. It's like Twitter in a sense where it's timed. So comment comes in and then it goes down. Another comment comes in, another comment comes in. And
Like Reddit, like Reddit kind
yeah,
of.
you just have to, if you have to kind of be on the ball and watching those comments, and then you can kind of just throw stuff
Or, but
out
maybe
there.
maybe you can hop on and maybe you can search for stuff like Trouble with Boys.
Now
and
this
so
is still in
somebody
the
hops on
kind of the
and-
design phase. So that was the neat part about and these were college kids that were going to high schools and asking those kids, you know, what specifically are you guys in need of? What would impact your lives?
Yeah.
We need you to help us build something that would be important to you.
Right.
Type of a thing. So when their 6-minute presentation was over with and we were doing the Q&A, you know, a lot of people were like, how do you defend against trolls? You know, people were saying bullies, but trolls
same thing
are bullies.
Yeah,
it's just
for sure.
You know, so when people get on the internet and they're just fucking throwing nasty shit, dude, you're just an old bully.
Right.
You're just a shitty old bully that just wants to say horrible things. Right.
Yeah. And it is, I only see bike rags on here for Tony.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So maybe he has another part of it that we're just not aware of.
Yeah, maybe so. But it's a cool place. You should check it out if you're in the Cedar Rapids area. If you're a business and you want to order some stuff. I asked him if
Is
he
it
was
just online, or does he have like a brick and mortar?
He has a brick and mortar and he has it online at
Right.
Facebook. He's got Twitter. He's got all kinds of stuff. And you can go up his Facebook page and you can go to his website.
Where's the brick and mortar place?
It's about a block.
You know where Chrome Horse is?
South of Chrome Horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going towards Czech Village. It's on the same side of the street as Chrome Horse, but it's down towards Czech Village.
Oh, this is the dude that's doing the Art Deco, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah. So you know where it's at.
Okay.
You know
yeah,
where it's
yeah,
at.
yeah. My
Okay.
bad. Sorry.
But it was just kind of surprising because he was talking about it a lot, and he and I were talking quite a bit because he was going to do some T-shirts for us, and I was like, "How's your shop going?" He's like, I'm bumping into some things, and it's taking me a while. And then it was like, once he got those things fixed, he knocked that shit out. It was done. Yeah, it's beautiful.
But it might be a cool place for you to go check out because he's really interested also in investing a lot of his time in not fundraising, social events to bring more people to the area. He seemed very like-minded with you.
Oh.
You guys seem very similar in character.
That'd be a sweet thing. Some Brrr Fest T-shirts next year. Yeah, he's like, one more goddamn thing I got to keep track of.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
My girlfriend can run that table too.
Or he's gonna say, yeah, there was, and you guys didn't get any.
Oh, is that what it is? You heartless wench. I'm just kidding. We don't give a shit, dude. You were nice enough to have us down there. We don't care.
No, but I think like maybe a uniquely designed shirt. I think one of the problems that we run into from time to time is, maybe we don't necessarily think about like T-shirt designs because we've got so much other stuff going on. Where we need to make sure, are all the brewers, did they all like say that they're coming? The ones that are coming, do they have hotel rooms, blah, blah, blah. So maybe sometimes one of the last things on our mind is, hey, what's going on with the design for next year's shirts or next year's poster? Because I don't even think that we had posters this year.
Well, to me, it's just that's like walking advertisement. It's just walking. It's a walking fucking billboard. So I will wear a shirt especially if it's like something like the Warrior Stash. I say that specifically because when I paid for my admission to the race, they're like, There's your shirt.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'll wear that shit around.
Well, one of the best T-shirts that I've gotten from a race, like ever, wasn't even like a running like fabric style T-shirt. It was just a regular ass T-shirt for the Nubo half that was this past year. Cool as hell. It was like fucking like a real faded red, kind of like the red on your hat, but even more like faded out.
Cool.
And it just, I don't wear shit like that, but I sure as fuck wear that shirt all the time. Like, I love it. I mean, and it has like people running on the front of it, all like silhouetted. It's not real flashy or anything, and it just says "Run Nubo," fucking flippity flop, whatever. I love that shirt, and it's made out of the fabric like you're talking about, where it's like super soft and very comfortable. So,
and he quoted us, I think it was like $16.50 a T-shirt for that high
really
quality.
Reasonable.
No, that's what he charges us. So if we're gonna get anything from it, it's gonna be a couple dollars.
No, I'm saying it's reasonable
cost-wise. Yeah, with the printing. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I would want a kind of a cool logo. You know, if it's Brrr Fest.
Yeah,
you know, it'd be kind of neat to come up with a cool logo.
Well, people are watching
it's probably better if somebody comes up with an idea and presents it to you. You present it to the committee. They say, "Yes, let's do that." You give it back to that person. You're the T-shirt guy. We're not fucking around with this.
Yeah, right. And when I'm wearing a shirt, I don't give a fuck what's on the back. When I put a shirt on, and I'm going in front of the mirror and I'm brushing my teeth. I'm like, yeah, it's a cool fucking shirt. So all the brewers,
just do a little hashtag beer on their back shoulders.
All the brewers that you have at Brrr Fest that year, you have on the back of your shirt, you know, and then you have like a cool
concert shirt,
fucking logo or something on the front. But when we were going through and talking to people that were in line, it was like, hey, how did you hear about Brrr Fest? You know, and they might say, well, it was my neighbors. But if I'm walking around in the mall, or if I see somebody and they have like a beer fest, I'm like, well, wait a second, there's something that's going on in Coralville, and wait, that happened last year about this time. Maybe I'll just type that in.
Yeah. Iowa's January Beer Festival.
I mean, yeah. I think the only way that you would not have a surplus of shirts was if, with their admission ticket, is like, whew, and what size shirt you wear? You throw it at them, you know?
And you could write that off as advertisement, I guess.
Well, you just bump up the ticket sales a little bit.
I don't know. Would you bump it up for a T-shirt?
It's pretty much sold out, wasn't it?
Yeah, it did sell out.
It's like pretty goddamn popular.
Yeah. I kind of feel like that would have to be a thing where maybe they didn't charge us, and they're like, hey, you know, we want to be a sponsor, so we'll sponsor with product. And for like the first how many ever people, or you could get like, you know, some of the people that do the baseball games or the hockey games. I tell you what, I've never seen, and maybe this is not that awesome to say, but I've never seen white people more happy than when they're fucking fighting for a prize that got shot out of a goddamn cannon.
That's true.
You're right.
I saw a shirt come flying out from a brewer, and I was like, it was like a stage dive.
And it hit the floor.
It hit the floor, and everybody's like, what?
And somebody says, like, oh, maybe it'll fit me. And they went over and kind of picked it up and looked at it.
If it would have came out of a cannon, everybody's like, whoa, what the fuck?
Potato shooter. Here we go.
Exactly. I mean, every sporting event that I go to, like, it's always... And I mean, maybe it's because we live in Iowa and white people are much more prevalent, but they don't give a fuck, man.
Yeah.
They have no fucks to give. It probably not even their size, but it just got shot out of a cannon,
which makes it magical,
or by the donkey that the Rough Riders have. They love it.
What, they have a donkey?
I appreciate a good potato gun too. I'll be honest. When it comes around, I'm like, oh, me,
right?
Yes.
Well, normally at all those other events, there's kids, so kids kind of amp up the feeling a little bit.
I use my kids as excuses to go to those things. They're just fodder. I need a T-shirt. But of course, they're the shitty T-shirts, though. They're the fucking horrible T-shirts.
Right.
They're like, oh, awesome! I'll turn this into rags to clean my toilet.
I think one of my buddies got one of those at I think it was a Colonel's game, and they were all like size extra small. And he's like, he's a man. He's a man-sized man. There's no need for that.
My son likes to say, "Get to the chopper." Right, that's one of his favorite one-liners in his Arnold Schwarzenegger accent. He's 9. So the day I was on Facebook,
and I saw it said 80s T-shirts.
Yeah.
There's a T-shirt that says "Get to the chopper" with a chop thing on it. It says Predator at the bottom, and I thought, oh, I gotta get it. And so I got him a small, and he wore it to school the other day, and it was maybe 6 inches too long on the bottom, but he wore a man's small shirt. So why would you pump out extra small men's shirts?
Yeah,
Jesus,
I don't know.
Who the fuck's gonna wear that?
Well, and I think to boot, it was like a Wednesday night game. So come on.
Maybe the kids won't be out.
I mean, your game starts at like 6:35 on a Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, you also see parents with kids at Walmart at 2 a.m.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't want to talk
Doing
about
their
it. I don't want to talk about
fucking
Walmart. It just bothers me too badly. I don't like it. It's poor white trash to the 10th degree, and I can't stand it.
You know what I can't stand?
What?
News reporters.
Reporters.
Yeah, because it's things that I can't stand. You can't stand that. I can't stand, like, when watching the Jon Stewart's comedy about this big, huge snowstorm that's coming in, and he's showing clip after clip after clip of these weather people like out and
snow apocalypse,
and there's barely a dusting on the ground, and they have to actually go over and make a little pile and throw it into the air. It's fucking ridiculous. The snow apocalypse. As you can see, you can barely see outside. And it's nothing. Especially for us here in Iowa, we're like, what the fuck is that?
Shut the hell up. And that real popular video that went through for a while that got very trendy was these people jogging out in the snowstorm when they're not supposed to be jogging. And they'd stop and talk to them like, oh, it's okay. We can see. We're fine.
Oh,
and she turns around, they walk away, and you can see the strip of ice. And you can tell she's jogging away going, the camera's on me, and not looking where she's going. And she hits the ice and
yeah.
Oh, I haven't even seen that.
Totally eats it.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's one of those things from 2014 and part of it.
Yeah, and it looks painful.
Yeah, she hits.
I mean, it's
hard.
not even like a graceful, like, oh, I kind of caught myself. Like, I knew what was coming, like a woo, circle the arms, you're going backwards.
And you can see the strip of ice. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, no. I mean, it was one of those where her head probably, went thunk on the pavement.
It was what state was it? Was it New York? Was it the governor that said no vehicles should be out, only emergency vehicles? And then somebody asked a question, what about Meals on Wheels? Can Meals on Wheels be out? And he goes, that's not an emergency vehicle, so no. So in that same area, though, the news channel weather guy said it was his what mobile was it? He named his vehicle the Avalanche Mobile or some stupid fucking snowmobile type of title, and he gave his weather from the vehicle as they're driving down the road where the guy had just said, "Don't be out." No, it's okay. We're in the news.
New York City. The entire state of Massachusetts, he said, do not go outside. Do not go anywhere unless you're going to a hospital.
Chris
unless
Christie was the same way for New Jersey.
They shut down the entire state. I mean, that's kind of mind-boggling,
And there were some pretty impressive pictures of New York City at nighttime where, like, all the streets
were empty.
Very famous streets had no automobiles on them.
Yeah.
And it was really New England, right? It was the upper...
Yeah, it was the Northeast.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and they said that we use $2.3 billion worth of salt a year for our roads, and we pay $5 billion a year to counteract the damage that it causes. Isn't that? I saw the stat the other day, and I was like, what are you talking? So they're trying to, I guess some states put beet juice in with their salt, and it has some kind of effect that helps it work better, and they're trying to counteract the environmental effects of throwing that much salt into the environment. It just wrecks waterways, wrecks drinking supplies.
That's very interesting because I actually work at a place where they're very adamant on the amount of salt. I mean, it almost is to an extent where you cannot throw enough salt down, but I mean,
their liability is so high, though, right? Is that part of it?
Well, we just recently had an incident where somebody was coming into work, they slipped and fell and couldn't get up. Okay?
Okay.
So the knee-jerk reaction was,
like always,
let's put 2 inches of fucking thick salt down everywhere. I mean, ridiculous amounts of salt. Now, I appreciate the fact that you shouldn't have to worry about falling on your ass to get to your place of work from the parking lot.
Of course. That makes sense, but that it can be done sensible.
Well, you know, a sidewalk. But the entire, every fucking square inch of the parking lot covered in salt. So just the other day, I was leaving work, and I said to the guy I was carpooling with, I go, you know, I appreciate that I won't be falling. I know that. I know I'm not going to slip and fall. But I wonder what bad shit would happen with all of this salt. I mean, what's the adverse?
Well, because we have drains and stuff that go somewhere. I mean,
it's gonna go into the river somehow.
Cedar River was
how do the fish react when
they don't? That's why General Mills has 2 lakes next to it, so that the heated water that they use can be slowly put back to a normal temperature. Same with Cargill, so they can get it back into the river and not kill everything.
Yeah, and it's I believe I don't know for sure, I'm just going to guess, but that the Cedar River is not a salt river.
Maybe a fresh water.
So the fish or the organisms that live inside there are freshwater organisms, and now you're introducing salt. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know where those drains go. I would assume that they probably go into the Cedar River
somehow.
Yeah.
So
unless they scrape it all up at a different time and they
No.
Just gonna hose it all off, or
yeah.
Well, not even that. It just let Mother Nature hose it off.
Rain and normal spring weather, and
it's astounding. It's astounding. When people, I find it sometimes some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen, and some of the most amusing shit I've ever seen. When companies react to an injury, one thing happens. Yes, I wouldn't want that guy to fall again. I wouldn't want somebody to slip and die. That's, of course, the worst case scenario. But how many people actually slip and die? We got billions of people on this fucking planet. Are we saying that every single life, nobody can slip and die?
No, all it is it's you slipped and fell,
right,
in the company, and then I slip and fall, and I say, it already happened to him. Did you fix it so that it didn't happen to me?
Yeah.
You didn't do what you needed to do? Well, now I'm fucking suing the shit out of you because you knew it was bad.
Reaction, crazy.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying that's why they do.
Right. The common folk who were looking at the situation, scratching their heads going, okay, the fact that the goddamn weatherman told you it was 40 degrees and then it's going to go down to 16 degrees and then it's going to go up to melting, the next day, and then it's going to go back down to freezing, may raise some concern for ice development.
True.
Nah. That's not when they reacted. They reacted when
one person
had
an incident.
Okay.
Right. And then it's been the salt apocalypse. Where we were.
Well, hey, I was going to ask you about, are you a stout fan? Do you like the dark coffee like beers?
Yeah.
We talked about it yesterday, and you have made huge headway. Great segue.
That was a horrible segue. But I'm just saying that I tried. It was segue because we went from the salt apocalypse to Brrr Fest.
Yeah.
I had somebody won a gold medal for one of their chocolate stouts that was there. I can't remember their name. Shoot.
Westco?
No, it was West something. Had O on the end. It might not be West.
I could try to pull it up on.
I can pull it up right here. I think that I liked it and it tasted good and I could see why people liked it a lot. But I was just like, I just can't do the stouts. I just can't do that heavy beer. It hits the bottom of my stomach and I'm like, okay, I'm done with that 1-2 ounce sip. Mm-hmm. Or if I had a whole beer of it, a whole glass of beer, oh my God, that would be.
I can't even imagine how difficult it would be to try to compete in a market that's as saturated as the beer market is.
Yeah, look at Hy-Vee. You walk into Hy-Vee and it's like, it's almost overwhelming.
When you're trying to make something that's unique and doesn't taste like other beers, and you want to experiment, I did get that blueberry.
Yeah, from
ale.
Bent River.
West O beer. I was right.
West O. I don't know where it came from exactly, but that was the one I could not finish.
The blueberry.
Oh, dude, I loved that one.
You
That
did.
one was fucking awesome.
The blueberry one?
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
I think a lot of
There was like a vanilla. There was a vanilla one also.
Oh, and I finished that for you. I was like, dude, if you can't drink it, just chug it. Jeez Louise, it's 4 ounces. It's 2 ounces.
Just slam it down.
Slam it down.
Well, actually, no.
Get a grip.
To kind of bring it back around, that first beer that I had that was awful.
Right.
I sat down and I started to watch the Iowa basketball game, and I was talking to somebody at the table, and he was like, "Hey, you found some good beers?" And I was like, "No, this one is horrible. Drink." Oh, it's still really bad. And then I talked to him a little bit more, thinking like, maybe like I would.
Maybe I'm a little drunker.
And it's like, no, that was horrible. I had to dump it out. I didn't want to put it in my mouth anymore.
Wow.
Right.
But yeah, I couldn't.
I've heard that. I've heard that before.
It's bad. Skunky.
I've never heard that.
You never heard of skunky beer before?
No, I've never heard. I don't want to put it in my mouth. It's skunky.
Yeah, kind of walked into that one. Huh?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
Right into the glass door. That was bad.
My bad.
So what was your favorite? Did you have a favorite?
It was there. I think there were probably quite a few blueberry stouts, but yeah, my favorite was the blueberry stout from Bent River.
It tasted like, I mean, I thought it was good tasting, but again, it's more of like, it's just going to hit my stomach. Whereas, I mean, I like Miller Lite, I like light beers, I like some of the Pilsners and things like that, but it was more of just like, I just don't want something that heavy. So
yeah.
But have you always been a stout guy? Have you always been a fan who likes that kind of beer?
No, not really.
Can you drink a pitcher of it? I mean,
oh,
you
yeah.
like it that much?
Like I can drink a lot of it. Well, that's all that I was doing that day was when I would go and like help somebody out. They'd say, "Oh, hey, your glass is empty. Let me fill your glass up before you leave." I would always say, "Yeah, what do you got that's dark?" And I just do it like that. But I mean, no, not really. I haven't always been that way. I mean, you know,
what do you like so much about
beer
it?
is like very intimidating to approach. So, for me, it's the flavor is not as hoppy.
Okay.
And
That's
you
legit.
can like wrap a whole bunch more flavors into it. So it's kind of like, maybe this sounds like a cheap way to talk about it, but stout for me is kind of like the vodka of beer, where you can put a lot of flavors into it and it's not going to fuck it up.
Oh, okay.
Like it'll actually make it taste pretty good.
Sure.
So
hence the blueberry. I mean,
right, the blueberry or the vanilla or
that
coffee.
put Matt over the edge. The vanilla.
Yeah,
he lost it on the vanilla.
Wow, that's
to me, I was like, at least I got to enjoy the vanilla.
Yeah,
you know, it was the stout part I didn't really enjoy, but still, I mean, it had a good flavor.
Yeah, I mean, you can't put those kind of flavors in with like an IPA. I mean,
Right.
it's probably going to taste a little wacky. I don't know. It might taste good, but
I thought, well, you started this with Jake from Back Pocket, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, people from the city of Coralville, like they had already been talking about it, and then I was an intern for Jake, so he wanted me to be a part of that. So
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't he and I starting it; it was like I was.
Well, you interned for Millstream, and then you interned for him as well. Why'd you go to Back Pocket? You might have talked about this last time, but I don't remember why you went to Back Pocket.
No. So once I graduated from Iowa, I'd already done 2 internships for Millstream. Would have loved to gone to work for them, but at that time they weren't really in a position where they could pay another employee. So I kind of tried to do whatever else. Then I started working at my current job. And after being there for about, maybe a year or so, I still kind of had the hunger.
Sure.
I thought, I want to do like a job that's fulfilling.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, maybe there was a program that I had started. I had started the entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial management program before I left. what the fuck? Like, let's just try that shit out again and see how that works. And I think it was like an odd number of credits so I could get the certification. So I just took an internship, and at that time I saw that Back Pocket was planning on building a brewery down in Coralville, and it was supposed to be like the biggest production brewery in Iowa. So, fuck it. Like, go and talk to the dude.
Yeah, it's a big building.
Yeah, oh yeah, very big.
I haven't been inside yet. I really want to go inside.
Now, the guy's name?
Jake
from Back Pocket.
You called him Alex.
Oh, you called him Alex?
Yes, a lot.
I'm sure he loved that.
I'll tell you what. Now, he handled it great.
Yeah.
He was very funny. There was two things I really fucked up on his interview. One, I should know.
Yeah.
I should look, get some info first about who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
Because I said, so, where are you guys located? And for all of you who don't know, Back Pocket was located about 300 feet away from the front door of the goddamn hotel that we were at.
True that.
And he smiled.
Did he give you a look like, are you fucking serious right now?
He gave me a smile. Now, if I would have worded it like this, if I would have just worded it like, for those who don't know,
sure,
where are you guys located?
Yeah.
That would have been fine.
That would have been fine.
That would have been great.
Hey, it's another one of those learning experiences.
It's a learning experience.
And,
and also like really knowing the person's name.
Yeah.
Because everything was great also. And then I was like, hey, and thanks again to Alex from
Front Pocket Brewing.
From
That's out of
from Back Pocket.
North Liberty.
Yeah.
Good job.
I'm like, hey, thanks, Alex. And then I'm like, hey, thanks. And so we're kind of shutting things down, but the recorder's still going, the camera's still going. He goes, it's Jake.
Yeah.
But here's that interview right here.
Well, Brrr Fest was something that we started about 4 years ago, basically to create a winter beer festival. There's lots of beer festivals throughout the summer, and people have a chance to try a whole lot of different summer beers. But in the winter, the weather really doesn't lend itself to beer festivals. We found a really big, wide-open, convenient space to use right across from our brewery, and so we decided it would be a great place to throw a winter beer fest. So we're located in Coralville, so our brewery's about 100 yards away from Brrr Fest, right across the street from the Coralville Marriott where we're hosting the event. And our beers are located then throughout Iowa. We're just starting to get into out-of-state distribution, but at this point, Eastern Iowa is certainly our kind of stomping ground into Central Iowa, and now we're starting to go up into Minnesota and into Illinois. We do 5 core beers that we put into 12-ounce bottles. We also do a rotating seasonal. And in the spring, we're going to be coming out with a rotating high-gravity series as well. So those are kind of the ones we bottle. And then at the tap room, we have kind of an ongoing experimental set. At any given time, we have about 12 beers on tap, and those change. Once upon a time, I was a scientist. I was getting a PhD in microbiology, and decided that I didn't want a PhD in microbiology. Did a kind of like mid-20s crisis and kind of came out of it thinking that, well, microbiology, brewing, those things go hand in hand, and I like brewing. I don't like the science part of the microbiology, but I like the brewing piece of it, and that seems like a pretty good path. And throughout the year, Brrr Fest, of course, is kind of our first one to kick it off. We do another one called Border Hop in the springtime, and that one we bring in beers from out of state that don't normally sell in Iowa. So we kind of import them special just for the event, and that one's a lot of fun. In the fall, we tend to do an indoor tailgate. So we kind of take over the same space that we have here for Brrr Fest, and we bring in a bunch of kind of the high-end, crazy tailgate setups and line the walls and put up some projection screens, on the walls and watch Iowa football games.
Thank you very much for taking the time to meet with us today.
Yeah, Jake was actually he's a very gracious person to talk to.
Oh, that was very cool.
Thank you, Jake, for not destroying me.
Yeah,
when you could have.
Yeah, yeah. He was very cool to let me come there and do an internship. I mean, I'm sure when he probably saw me when we met to like do the internship, he was kind of like, "What the fuck is this old guy?" Like, you're still in college, bro? Like, I think I'm actually like a year older than he is.
You're one of those guys.
Yeah, you're like, oh, yeah. So the recession kind of hit you a little hard, dude, huh? Reinvent yourself, huh?
All right. So I want you to try to be transparent here. What was your...
Because you haven't been.
Right. Right. You're kind of a closed book. What was your best moment? What's kind of like the best thing about this year's Brrr Fest, and what was one of those things like I really I struggled. I either struggled with this or I was not very happy that this happened. Anything that you're gonna do better next year?
I think, and maybe I'm biased, but I think like the answer to both of those questions is our merchandise table. Because I worked the merchandise table the first year that we had it, and then, disclaimer, my girlfriend and one of my close friends worked it the second year. It was good because it worked, and we had people working it that come from like a retail background that are excited about stuff like that. So if you had any kind of questions, they could answer that shit, and they were on it when it came down to like, hey, I need more ones, or I need money, or I know how to make change. Had it down pat. However, I feel like that's still a place that we can improve. I feel like it would be nice if some of the breweries that actually sold out their beer would bring more beer, or if there would just be more variety from the Iowa breweries. Like maybe some that aren't necessarily in this region brought, like, just some growlers or something like that. Sold growlers, like brought like 5 or 6 growlers. The variety would help. We had an awesome variety this year. I mean, we had like sour beers and shit, stuff that we don't normally have.
There was a brewery that just did only sour beers.
Yeah,
that was Chest and Black.
Shell also had
really?
Sour beers there too.
Okay.
And my girlfriend goes bonkers over that shit. And you can't really, there's not a lot of variety yet. I mean, there are some, but it's not as, like a dark beer, like we were talking about. You can't, there's not that much variety.
And I'm not a fan. First time I had sour beer was New Belgium came out with some a few years back.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's New Belgium. I'll try it.
Yeah, it's definitely
very different.
It's an acquired taste, and I don't know if I've acquired that taste yet. But yeah, so more variety with the beer. I also think that I wish I had it with me, but that we could do like beer sweaters.
I love beer sweaters.
Fucking cool. Just like have our logo on like a beer sweater. Basically what it is
it's a crocheted little sweater for a beer bottle.
Yeah, and you just put it over the top, kind of like a beer condom, really. And
they're adorable.
Yeah, they come in different designs and shit. Like the one that I had brought there was like an American flag, because I love America.
I think it would be great if we have one that has a little tie on it, like a little suit, and it says Brrr Fest.
Yeah.
Really?
Just throwing that out there.
And I think
a good suggestion.
You can stop now. I think you don't have to be so fucking nice that I know that it's starting to get creepy. This is not the Matt that I know. You've been super nice to me tonight, and I appreciate it. I love you. You're a great guy. But you can stop being so nice.
It is on.
Sweet.
Before you guys fight, I think that would be cool. Like just a couple more like merchandisey type stuff. We have people to man the table.
Can I ask you a question? Because we were doing the interviews, because we went there for a completely different reason than to enjoy it, but we did still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Did the people that bought tickets, did they get like a brochure of who is there and what beers those people were bringing?
Well, here's the tricky part about stuff like that. Sometimes the breweries might not even know until the day that they leave. They're like, oh shit, what do we got extra of? or
Sure.
they're like, oh man, like we want to bring this specialty beer, but maybe it's not ready, so then they have to put. There's a lot of mix and match that happens. There was a brochure with kind of like the layout of the event space where all the breweries were, kind of where they're from, just a little bio available. So yeah, they were blue booklets.
Okay.
And we typically, here's your glass, here's your booklet.
See
Go
ya.
get in line.
Because when I was walking around later after I did my work, I thought,
oh, I don't think I gave you guys those booklets, did I?
I don't think so.
No,
But
I didn't.
what,
That
what I was
would
think-
have been really great. By the
what
way,
I was thinking was if there was something like cardstock ish
Yeah.
and a little pencil, and I could say, oh,
like check off the beers. Oh, that's a good
Potosi.
idea.
And if there was like some, because you don't know exactly what each brewery is going to bring.
Yeah.
If you
Oh,
went
that's a
there,
great
if you
idea.
went there and you're like, hey, so what do you got here? We have this, this, and this. Great, I'll try that. And so you write down the name of it, and then maybe you're like, I didn't really like that, or I really liked it. I want to come back to that later, because 45 minutes into sampling different beers, I thought, God damn it, which one was it that
Yeah,
I
what was
really,
that
really
one?
liked?
Yeah,
and which one was
right.
it that I do not want to wait in line 20 minutes to get another beer from?
And it's hard to do that from our standpoint because, like, we don't necessarily know what they're bringing, so it'd be virtually impossible. And you don't want to be an asshole because in those booklets, if we had, like Potosi's bringing this stuff, but then like Chefs in Black, we don't know, so we're not putting their shit on there.
Oh, sure.
So then you kind of look like maybe you're favoring Potosi a little bit more than Chefs in Black, and people, and rightly so, get their feelings hurt about stuff like that. So I would love to do that. Like, my recommendation would just be to bring a pen, and once you go to those breweries, just write down what you have, because more than likely they have like a chalkboard or a dry erase board that says, hey, these are the beers that we have, because they want you to ask for what they have. And then you can just write down like, I like their porter, or I just write down the porter, and then you maybe like what I like to do is I'll give it like a star rating.
Sure.
And figure it the fuck out.
Right.
Just do it like
now,
that.
Before we went and we talked about the whole Brewmaster, you're going to get the Brewmaster ticket. You're not going to get the Brewmaster. You're going to go in with everybody else. And I thought, man, you're going to pay how much more to get the
$15.
And you're going to be in there an hour early. No, that is actually the way to fucking go.
Yeah.
To get in there an hour before the rest of the people get in there. You can actually, you get a real good sense of the floor space. You get a really good sense of where the brewers are at, because once everybody else gets in there, it's not necessarily pandemonium, but it's controlled chaos. And it's a little bit difficult. It's a little bit hard to see all, it's not hard, but it's much more comfortable, controlled atmosphere when you get in there that hour before everybody else gets in there.
Yeah.
No, I agree, and just are people willing to pay the $15 extra to get in there? Like, I actually saw some people that just came in for that hour,
and then they
left. They
Well, if you don't like crowds, but you want to go. Perfect.
And then they bought some shit, and they were like, well, we're leaving. Because when you go to the merchandise table, they'll give you the option of, like, storing this beer there until you're done. And they're like, no, we're leaving. But then, like, conversely, like, I had to get glasses for people that came at 3. The place closes down at 4, mind you. And, like, probably all the good shit is gone by 3. I know, like, some of the distributors, they didn't have anything else by like 2 o'clock. They were just out, which can go one of two ways. Where you can be like happy about it because they'll actually try like other people's stuff, or sad about it because you might have wanted that beer that they had, but now they're all out of it. So
I did like Back Pocket had a little growler that looked like a little keg.
Yeah.
And he
Oh,
had,
yeah, it
and
was
he
a tiny
had,
little,
he had a
like,
sample.
8-inch
So it's a
keg.
perfect size growler, but it looks like a little mini keg.
Oh, that's cool.
And he said that was a prototype. He's just going to get, Jake was saying, he's just going to get some made. And I was like, I am all over that growler. It's
You know what?
so cool.
You
That
really
sounds
like
interesting.
all the little tiny gadgety, knick-knacky.
I like growlers. I have 3 growlers, and my brother-in-law got me an insulated, fucking unbelievable growler for Christmas this year. And so I like growlers because I don't. If I
You
can go
don't
to a
like to
brewery-
move around very much. You like to fill up your beer, sit in one place, and drink until you pass out.
I like to go somewhere, and so if I want to get Workman's Comp from Lion Bridge, right, gold medal beer, it's a great beer. I don't want to just go there and have a glass of it. I can do that, but I'm going to go get a growler. So that's what I'm going to do on Super Bowl Sunday. I have 3 growlers. I'm going to go get them filled up from different places, and so when I go have
that's a
beer,
great
I'm going to have
idea.
3 growlers worth of beer.
Yeah.
I'll have a great time. I'll drink really good beer and not sit there and drink some, Busch Light.
Well, I mean, it costs less too.
Yeah.
I think. I really don't know.
It does. Overall, it does. It does cost less. If
Maybe
you
we
do
should
it.
have put that in there.
Once
I
you
don't know.
once you buy the growler, it's
Yeah,
cheaper
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
That's why I go.
Oh,
Because I gotta have beer. Hey, doing some more voices for you, buddy.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
Thanks.
It wasn't good,
It wasn't
but it wasn't
that good.
It wasn't bad necessarily.
Doug would have.
Shut your mouth before I punch you in the fucking face.
I had to give it to Peachtree because they were the ones with like the piratey stuff.
Yeah, well, you
right?
talked about. I mean, when you were
Yeah.
first on about the themes they come up with. I love their tappers that had like guns and parrots, and they had speakers that actually worked. They were part of their tapper. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
I also liked that it was like an homage to you guys, but they had a sign, right? And it said Brrr Fest. But then they had it crossed out. The B was crossed out, and they had an R or an A written with red. It's like R.
And
Fest.
we have a picture of that too, don't we?
Yep, it's right here.
That's really cool.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
All right, man. So now we got to we just have to knock out exactly what we're going to do for you. And when do you want to start doing this filming? Because obviously, you might not have noticed it, but that's my camera now.
Yeah,
it's here.
That's
it's
good.
not just a rental.
Yeah.
So
it's fancy.
So we can sit down and knock out ideas.
Yeah.
Anytime you want.
Okay.
If
Is this like a thing that we could do now?
We can do it now.
We don't have to do it.
We don't
right-
have
we
to do
don't
it
have to
now.
right now.
Well, I mean, like, there's like, if we wanted to do like five places, I could probably say 5 places right now.
When do you think you want to? When do you think you want to jump on that horse? When would it be comfortably convenient for you?
Maybe after Valentine's Day. That's usually when shit really kind of slows way the fuck down.
Yeah.
And 4 weeks later, we'll be on spring break.
That's right. We have to
So
sit. We have, the
maybe
three of us have
maybe
to
we
sit
need
down
to
and
maybe we
figure
need
that
to
out.
maybe we shoot for after spring break.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Because we'll have a lot of shit going on up to that point.
I'm in no rush, and
If we're gonna do it right,
much more time to
plan,
figure out
you got it.
exactly what we want, and we could even like do some run throughs of just how shit looks.
Yeah.
And how we want to do it. But I mean, like, I think that we should go to the Lost Cuban because they make apparently the most bomb ass fucking mojitos.
I've never had a mojito.
Really?
Yeah, and it's a Cuban drink. I think we should go to Zin's because they provide wine flights, which I don't think anybody else in this town does a wine flight. Cobble, obviously, for obvious reasons.
Sure.
Their shit is on point. Then I think like Jitney, which is a place. Excuse me.
Busch Light, I'll do it to you every time.
Yeah, pal.
Fuck that shit.
But the Jitney,
Where's
it's out
Jitney
in
at?
like fucking Monticello.
Okay.
I mean, so it's not close, but it's worth going there.
It could be. I mean, it could definitely be one of those things. I know we're going to talk to a bartender and have a theme for the 5 minutes, but maybe part of it is we're going to a certain bar. I mean, that should be part of the show.
Just to, and have fun.
Instead of it being just a bar show, it'll be going somewhere and doing the similar questions or similar kind of feel to it with a new bartender and a new place.
Yeah.
Kind of introducing everybody to different places and different things in Iowa.
And then doing like a brewery. Like it could be, Lions Bridge or it could be Third Base.
Sure.
Joe Denny's bar.
Would you be down with going with us to some different beer festivals that are going to be? Because we got invited to a few of them. We got some different pamphlets. You could see how they measure up with your Brrr Fest.
And that's something that I've wanted to do, that I thought that we should do as the Brrr Fest committee, is go to these different beer festivals. But it's hard getting schedules down and
everybody together.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I definitely. I mean, it's just like doing podcasts. You watch other people do their podcast, and see what works.
I like that look.
I
like the way that sounds. Type of thing. Yeah.
Well, Scott Takis is going to be coming on our podcast here. He's a local artist who's done some amazing work, been on TV, all that kind of fancy stuff. And I would love at some point to have a studio, and we can get some of his. He has like these pieces of metal artwork that are like 4 feet by 4 feet square. Yeah. And then he does airbrushing on them, but he does portraits. Just the most.
They're thousands of dollars.
No, they're about $800.
Oh, I thought they were more than that.
No, about $800.
Still pretty expensive.
I went to get one for Junior. That was Johnny Cash. And I just emailed him and said, hey, I was kind of thinking different out of the box for my son for high school graduation. He's like, yeah, that's a great idea. I just want to give you a heads up. They're about $800. And I was like, okay. So he's not getting that for graduation. I said, thank you so much. I appreciate it. He's like, I thought you would want to know. He was super, super cool about it. But he just airbrushed a guy's his prosthetic leg. He's got an amputee from the knee down, and so he did this. It's all silver with black and gray, a bald eagle holding the arrows on the guy's leg. It's on his website. It's really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
But I thought it'd be cool it'd be cool to have a Johnny Cash picture behind this or something like that.
Oh, I think anything from an artist that is that good.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd put 2 pigs fucking behind me.
I mean, right in between, that'd be great.
Yeah, and that could be right between 2 pigs.
Making bacon.
All right. Well, we're gonna let Nick go. We're gonna get off the podcast because we gotta sit down. We gotta plan our Denver trip.
Yeah, we have 5 minutes to plan this Denver
Colorado,
trip.
Not necessarily Denver, but anyway.
That sounds about right. 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah,
that should take it.
Yeah, should be good.
Well, thanks, Nick, for coming on and doing a little wrap up for how Beer Fest.
And we really appreciate you thinking of us and having us down there. We had a wonderful time. It was really great.
Yeah,
buddy.
Thanks so much.
No problem. And we'll try to do it again next year.
Word.
All right. So I'm Matt.
I am Todd.
We'll see you later.
Adios.
Good night.